Today's broadcast on the IHSAA Champions Network is presented by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Your ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992. This is the Regional Radio Sports Network at rrsn.com. Broadcast coverage of the 2024 Kankakee Valley Cougars and the Northwest Indiana football season on RRSN.com video, Facebook Live, and the Regional Radio Sports Network, LLC, is presented by the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with Laborers District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LIUNA. First Trust Credit Union with locations in Michigan City, LaPorte, Valparaiso, and Wheatfield. Hamster Group, commercial developer in Wheatfield, delivering quality you can build on at hamstergroup.com. State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The United States Marine Corps and the Semper Fi Fund, the few, the proud, the Marines. If you think you have what it takes, dial 1-800-MARINES or log on to marines.com. Ivy Tech Lake County with locations in Crown Point, East Chicago, and Gary, and online at ivytech.edu. Ivy Tech Lake County, your future starts here. Horizon Bank, exceptional service and sensible advice for over 150 years at Horizon Bank. CI Insurance with offices in DeMotte, Rensselaer, and Lowell, family owned and operated and part of their community since 1953. You can find them on the web at ciinsurance.com. Nitco, get up to 100 megabits of high-speed broadband, the new IPTV television service, and the best Wi-Fi at nitco.com. And be connected, always, at Nitco. Family Express, award-winning made-to-order food from Cravens to Order and services with locations throughout Northwest Indiana, including Route 10 in Wheatfield, and on the web at familyexpress.com. Property Management, Inc., Northwest Indiana, the highest-rated property management company in Northwest Indiana at PMI-NWI.com. Today's Northwest Indiana High School football game of the week on RRSN.com video, Facebook Live, JED TV, and the Regional Radio Sports Network is being brought to you by Cruiswick Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning on 7th Street and Southwest in DeMotte. For award-winning service in Jasper County since 1988. Cubit Networks, striving to provide highly innovative solutions to your unique technology needs. Countryside Realty, with over 24 years of honesty and industry knowledge. Countryside Realty, where professionalism matters. Toppin Inc., a family-owned remodeling and construction business serving Jasper and Newton counties. They also service the communities of Bass Lake, Lake Maxinkuckee, Knox, and Culver, and they're on the web at toppininc.com. The 2024 Indiana Football Digest, with stories and pictures of over 320 high school teams, 20 college programs, and the Indianapolis Colts, available online at indianafootballdigest.com. Realtor Scott Miller, Pursue Realty Group in Berkshire Hathaway, a 5-star broker. He's Scott Miller from Pursue Realty Group in Berkshire Hathaway. Rooted Influence, the gripping story of a football coach determined to prove his doubters wrong, and a football quarterback struggling to reclaim his life. To get your copy, go to Amazon or find it at RyanSpencerLutz.com. All proud partners of coverage of the Kankakee Valley Cougars and the Northwest Indiana football game of the week on RRSN.com video, Facebook Live, and the Regional Radio Sports Network, LLC. Your ticket to the best seat in the house. Since 1992, well, we are joining you live from Fred Jones Field here on the campus of Kankakee Valley High School in Wheatfield, Indiana, along with Ryan Matthews and Mara Graff, our camera person. This is Vince Gray, and we'll be bringing you week number 5 for the Kankakee Valley Cougars. The Cougars have fallen to 2-2 after starting out big 2-0 with wins over Rensselaer and Wheeler. They have fallen to the Hobart Brickies last the Hobart Brickies and the Andrean 59ers. Both of those wins convincing for the visitors. And so this week they take on a Hanover Central team that has joined the NCC, and they've made their presence felt, especially with running back Caden Verrett. Caden Verrett, one of the primetime 25 for the Regional Radio Sports Network's publication, the Indiana Football Digest, has 53 rushes for 423 yards and 4 touchdowns. He also has 5 receptions for 69 yards and another 4 scores. So far, Caden Verrett has found the end zone 8 times for a Wildcat team that is a dominant force in the NCC. On the other side of the ledger is the Kankakee Valley Cougars offense. Runs through number 22, Marco Castro. Castro has on the season 118 rushes. He leads the region in rushing with 857 yards. He has 7 touchdowns. He also has 3 receptions for 29 yards. So on the season, almost 900 total yards in just 4 games for Castro. So he's averaging a little under 250 yards of total offense per contest. But he's going to need help tonight, and he'll need to get it from his quarterback, Diego Arroyo. 29 for 56, 387 yards on the season, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also has a rushing touchdown. It was the play of the game last week, a Superman effort. Unfortunately, it came as the clock ended, and Kankakee Valley fell last week to Hobart, 41-23. We're going to take our first 2-minute timeout. We come in, we're going to get a quick look at tonight's ball game from Ryan Matthews, my color analyst. We're going to hear from both head coaches. That's Kirk Kennedy of the Kankakee Valley Cougars and Brian Parker of the Hanover Central Wildcats. We'll take a look at other action from around the region. We'll also tell you who our sponsored segments will be, and we'll get you ready for a good night of football. Should be a fun one here on a hot homecoming night. It's Kankakee Valley taking on Hanover Central, and it starts after this 2-minute timeout. This is Indiana High School football on Regional Radio Sports.
This is the end of a Horizon Bank commercial. Why show the end of our commercial at the beginning of our commercial? We think you'll find Horizon does a lot of things differently than other banks. Horizon Bank. Get a conversation started.
Countdown 3, 2, 1.
This is the end of a Horizon Bank commercial. Why show the end of our commercial at the beginning of our commercial? We think you'll find Horizon does a lot of things differently than other banks. Horizon Bank. Get a conversation started.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Back here at Kankakee Valley, it's time to bring in my broadcast partner. That's Ryan Matthews. And Ryan, it's good to have you on board. Let's talk a little bit about what happened with Kankakee Valley last week. They went up to Hobart, the Brickies. They ran around a little bit, and we said that Pickett was the man. He wasn't even in the starting lineup, according to the depth chart, but he went for 206 yards and 3 touchdowns. KV's got to learn how to stop the run defensively.
Yes, they do. And, at halftime as well, it's a lot closer than, what the scoreboard shows and what you would probably assume after looking at the 41-23 score. They were only down 10 points at the half, and then they kind of fell apart in the second half, and it seemed to be just silly mistake after silly mistake. We are seeing a lot of penalties called on this Kankakee Valley team, and you want to see a lot more growth and development when it comes to the discipline of this football team. And so, it starts with the offense as well. At the helm, Diego Arroyo starting to make the correct reads and everything as well. Marco Castro starting to get a little figured out, but at the same time, this team, if you underestimate them, they'll punch you in the face.
We'll talk about the other side of the ledger, and that's going to be the Hanover Central Wildcats. Wildcats came into the NCC, and they weren't a little bit of a surprise. Last year, they had a great season. This year, they've beaten Wheeler 41-21. They lost to Bishop Chatard on the road in Indianapolis 28-7. But then the last 2 weeks, 54-0 against Highland and 48-21 against Lowell, a game that you saw here on Regional Radio Sports with Todd and Tony. Talk to me about their big running back, number 7, Caden Verrett.
Yes, I'm very excited to see this team perform because not only do you see teams win if they're good with high school football, but they win convincingly just like Hanover Central's doing. But we talk about the rushing game on the other side of the gridiron with Marco Castro. You got an equally as good rushing game in Caden Verrett, and not only is he good at the run game, but he's also a really big factor in as the receiving game as well. You look at that, he's got 4 receiving touchdowns on the year, and I mean that's 1 per game. He's doing really good.
Ryan, I would be remiss if I didn't tell people about your other job. You are the purveyor, the man in the Pigskin Project podcast. Talk to me about this week's guest. And you know what? I just want to say, I'm not going to give the name because I want people to tune in to find out who it is, but NFL Films? Are you kidding me?
NFL Films, yes. We had NFL Films on the show as well. And I mean, Kaline Shounts is his name. Okay. The man is a gentleman, and it was an absolute great time to be able to talk to him. The man's worked 20 Super Bowls in his career as a cinematographer, and he was able to give his insight as well on this week's NFL action. We did a great job predicting last night's matchup, picking the Jets to win. So,
nice.
It was a lot of fun, but I mean, we probably interviewed him for a solid 30 minutes.
Really?
And it was a lot of fun, just being able to hear his insight. And I will say, given his insight, experience, and knowledge on the game, as well as the people that he knows, you'll see a lot more of the Pigskin Project coming up soon.
That sounds great. We're going to go ahead and remind you that you can find the Pigskin Project wherever you find your podcast. Again, it's Ryan Matthews and, of course, my good friend Ben Hansen. He, the Indiana University student. Hopefully soon Indiana University grad. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll get him to give us a job someplace. Kankakee Valley Cougars are on the field, and we talk a little bit about their running back, Marco Castro. He's got that high running style. We also talk a little bit about number 23, and really I make it an effort every week to just talk about whatever I can, but it seems like number 23, Grayley Weaver, steps up every week, and last week he was strong defensively, and he probably should have had a few more receptions. Weaver, pretty much the difference maker for this team. He just plays hard every single day.
Yes, he does, and he's one of my favorite players to watch. Not only is he a good kid outside of the field, but he is a great player on the field as well. He's a great teammate from what we've seen. It did look like he got a little banged up during last week's matchup, but it's good to see him on the field one more time, and I believe he'll be a huge factor in today's game.
We're going to go ahead and take a 2-minute audio timeout. When we come back, the first person we're going to hear from is Brian Parker. He's the head coach of the Hanover Central Wolves. All that happens after this 2-minute audio timeout. This is Indiana High School football in the Northwest Indiana football game of the week. It's Kankakee Valley hosting Hanover Central, and you're listening to it on Regional Radio Sports.
Hi, this is Paul Condry of the Regional Radio Sports Network. That may be my professional title, but did you know that I'm also the son of a U.S. Navy World War II veteran and the proud father of a United States Marine? Let me share with you something very close to my heart. It's called the Semper Fi Fund, and its program America's Fund, which provides immediate lifetime support for post-9/11 wounded, critically ill, and injured members of the U.S. Armed Forces, veterans, and their families to ease recovery and transition back home to their communities. The Semper Fi Fund, serving those who preserve our freedom. The basic idea that drives these efforts is simple. For as much as our heroes have sacrificed, they deserve the best care and support available in their hour of need, whenever it may occur. The Semper Fi Fund, a 4-star charity and an A+ rating, has served over 16,000 members since 2004. The Semper Fi Fund, serving those who preserve our freedom. For more information, visit them online at www.semperfifund.org.
NITCO is proud to support athletes around Northwest Indiana. Residents of Jasper and Newton County, you may qualify for up to 100 megabits of high-speed broadband from NITCO and the best Wi-Fi experience ever with our new Wi-Fi Plus. Also new is our Nitco IPTV television service. Go for the win with Nitco's infinitely friendlier customer service when ordering. Call 219-996-2981 or on the web at nitco.com and be connected. Always at Nitco.
State Farm Insurance asks, if you're feeling stuck in a state of compensation stagnation, another year with no raise, then let State Farm help you get to a better state with a discount double check that can stretch your hard-earned dollars a little farther. They'll go through your car insurance to make sure you're getting all the discounts you deserve. Discounts could add up to 40% and put a few hundred extra dollars in your pocket. Discounts may vary state to state. Danny DeTola, 2449 45th Street, Highland, 963-4444. Andrea Harbin, 6504 U.S. Highway 6 Portage, 762-5514. And Robert Dacus, 835 Lincoln Way Avenue, Valparaiso, 476-7444.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Back here at Kankakee Valley, and tonight, Who's Hot will be brought to us by Cruiswick Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning on 7th Street Southwest in DeMott. They've been serving Jasper County since 1988. Since 2016, they've been voted 6-time best plumber in Jasper County and 7-time best heating and cooling contractor in Jasper County as well. Their technicians are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help with any commercial or residential needs. Check them out at cruiswickplumbingheating.com or call their office at 219-207-3682. Cruiswick Plumbing, your trusted hometown comfort specialist. Well, Ryan, we're going to have a chance to talk to the head coach of the Hanover Central Wildcats, and that's Brian Murray. Brian Murray with a great start to his career here. He's in his 7th season. Brian does double duty over at Hanover Central. He also is an assistant principal, so think about it. He's making sure he keeps up with discipline, but maybe sometime one of his players might come through the office and he says, listen, be careful. I don't think he would do that, but you never know. But our interview with Brian Murray is being brought to us by Ivy Tech Lake County, our coaches' interviews. Did you miss the start of the fall semester at Ivy Tech Community College, Lake County? You can still enroll in classes that begin in October. Their next set of 8-week classes starts October the 21st. This means you have time this year to earn credits towards your degree or certificate. Whether you're fresh out of high school or a working adult, Ivy Tech has flexible programs that fit your schedule and your budget. Visit ivytech.edu to enroll or apply. Call 219-392-3600 or visit their locations in Crown Point, East Chicago, or Gary. Let Ivy Tech be your first step to success. It's a Week 5 matchup between the Hanover Central Wildcats and your Kankakee Valley Cougars. Going to spend a few minutes with Brian Parker. He's the head coach of the Hanover Central Wildcats, and he's also one of the assistant principals, so he's got a busy week for sure, taking a few minutes to spend some time with his coach. Off to another good start, 3-1 on the season, and even though Caden Verrett and Tommy Bonner are marked men, it seems like they're off to a good start as well.
Vince, first off, thanks for having me. We have an e-learning day today, so it's busy, but we don't have students, so it's today was a good day to do this. Caden and Tom, and I think if you look at our track record here at Hanover Central, we've produced some really productive quarterbacks in regards to both the pass and run game, and then Caden. Before him was Kyle Hazley and Adam Graham and running backs who were in Brett Driscoll, some really good players in the past that we've had here the last several years. And it just feels like this backfield tandem is unique in its own way, just like the other ones were before it. And what you have with those two is you got two special kids who are not only tremendous football players, but great young men, high academic kids, leaders on our football team, very coachable young men that come from good families, and it's just really a privilege to be able to work with them every single day.
When we talk about your team, you have players that do go both ways, but as your school gets bigger, you have more players that are just playing one way, but Rocco Bartolomeo plays both ways. But a lot of these schools that you play have kids that are playing both ways, and you get a chance to wear them down a little bit. Talk a little bit about the fact that Hanover Central is just getting bigger and bigger, and it gives you more depth in your squad.
Well, first you talked about Rocco. Rocco's just he's a unique athlete as well as a unique dude. He's different. He's quiet. He's kind of ornery in regards to just his everyday approach and how he is, and he's an ultra competitor. I think if you probably read the article from last week, he's just and he takes a lot of things personal. I think just because of his demeanor and his build and his stature, and he really just walks around every single day with an edge. He really does. In regards to playing both ways, Rocco is one of those guys. We don't really have too many guys anymore that are playing both ways. And we really think that's a real formula for our success, particularly with the aforementioned guys like Tommy and Caden, where we're late in the ball game, and some of the teams that we play are having guys play both ways, but we've got our quarterback and our running back have fresh legs in the second half, and we feel like we really saw, I think, some of the benefits of that last year when we played in some of those closer games, particularly that Hanover game. In regards to our school's growth, it feels like everything's falling into South Lake County. You look at the growth of Crown Point. Last week we were at Lowell High School, and I think you're going to start to see a boom over there as well. I believe with there's developments going up all over the place. Obviously, their brand new beautiful stadium was great, so they've got a lot of really nice things going on in their corporation, and as well as we. So. It feels like just everything's kind of falling into South Lake County, and we're reaping the benefits for that, I guess, migration, you could say.
Last year when we were at your school, we did the broadcast, and we were in a really unique position. We got a chance to be out on the balcony there, and what I noticed was it was the same feel that we get at Kankakee Valley. The community is really behind this team. When we got upstairs, you had a lot of guys that it was almost like a college tailgating atmosphere. Talk about the community support that you get. You guys travel well, but at home, you're really tough just because of the people that are watching your games.
Well, yeah, I think this is Christian, this is the 11th year for varsity football here at our school. So, in comparison to the blue blood programs that we play with in our conference, I mean, we're still the newborns of the conference. So, but it's I think the demographic really is in our community is we have a lot of younger families. So we have a lot of our guys are the oldest in their families. So you have younger parents, and a lot of these parents grew up playing high school football or being around communities where high school football and Friday nights were a big thing. And when we brought football to the community, I think it's really just taken off because of Friday nights, whether you're in Cedar Lake or Crown Point or wherever you are, it's a special time. It's fun that we get to put a fun, good product on the field for everybody to come and watch. Our athletic department and our Gridiron Club do a great job of some peripheral things that are going on outside of the game, like bounce houses and tailgating opportunities. And we bring in some local, like food trucks, and there's a cookie place that comes and different establishments come and sell their products, but they're all local things, so it still has that community vibe to it, and so it's just a really, really cool experience. I don't get to experience much of it, but at the same time, just sometimes you'll stop and take a look at what's going on around you, and you just kind of think, man, from where we started this thing 7 years ago to where we are now, it's been a pretty cool, fun ride thus far.
Give you a wrap, Coach, to talk about this week's opponent, Kankakee Valley. There's one man on that squad that everybody talks about. That's number 22, Marco Castro, one of the leading rushers in the state. Started out weeks 1 and 2 with 660 yards on the ground, and now between weeks 3 and 4, he's in the 850 range. So Caden Verrett got a lot of publicity. Also, 22, Marco Castro was getting a lot of preseason pub as well. How do you stop him and the Cougars and get a win this week over on the road at Fred Jones Field?
Well, obviously he's a good player with the ball in his hands. And Coach Kennedy, is Coach Kennedy. He's what he does, and what he, already the sudden impact that he's had on that program is imminent, is apparent when you watch the film. It's got his touch on it. They're tough, they're physical, they play hard, which is textbook Coach Kennedy. Play against them, and I get the opportunity to coach against them. And his teams were always tough when I played with them. So, and Coach Stewart as well, longtime defensive coordinator who was with him at Bowl. And, I think when you talk about some of their players, obviously it starts with the Castro kid who's the bell cow, who runs hard between the tackles. I think if you can get him running side to side as opposed to north and south, you give yourself a better chance. We have a defense that prides themselves on our ability to run to the football. We have a fast unit on defense. And we're pretty explosive up front. So we can get him off his mark a little bit in regards to not hitting his aiming point and get him to bounce a little bit to where he can get hats to the football rally. I think that gives us a much better chance. I like the quarterback. I think the Arroyo kid does a really good job of facilitating what they're trying to do offensively. He's good enough. He's got a nice arm. He stays well within the structure of what they're trying to do offensively and can distribute the ball and what they do in the pass game a little bit. And they just got some other guys, man. Like I said, they just play hard. There's just a bunch of guys that are physical. Although, we put it on them pretty good last year, but I don't think that score is really indicative of really the first half. Man, kind of got away from them a little bit in the second quarter. But, they got us a stop. We were fortunate. We ran a fake punt to extend a drive, and we had some things go our way and that. But they by no means was that an easy football game at all. So we know that when we go down there, they play a little bit better at home than they do on the road. We're in for a firefight on Friday night, and so we're preparing our boys for that. I think we'll be up to the challenge.
It's Brian Parker. He's the head coach of the Hanover Central Wildcats. Wildcats trying to remain undefeated in the NCC and take out the Kankakee Valley Cougars in Wheatfield. Take a 2-minute timeout, and when we come back, we'll have more of Indiana high school football. This is Regional Radio Sports. For more than 50 years, the Hamster Group has established itself as a leader in the communities of Northwest Indiana and surrounding areas, whether it be the development of retail shopping centers, commercial offices, agricultural centers, municipal facilities, or a number of other property types. Hamster Builders has the answers to meet the needs of their customers and communities. Hamster Group in Wheatfield, for quality you can build on. Call 219-956-3111 or look them up on the web at hamstergroup.com. Today's game is being brought to you by Countryside Realty, the preferred realtor of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Countryside's team of realtors is ready to handle your next real estate transaction with honesty, professionalism, and over 25 years of industry knowledge. Don't go unrepresented in one of the largest investments of your life. Call their DeMont office to speak with an agent at 219-987-SELL. That's 219-987-7355. Visit Countryside Realty on the web at 987cell.com or find them on Facebook. Serving all of Northwest Indiana, Countryside Realty, where professionalism matters. Back here at Kankakee Valley, and a reminder, today's national anthem will be brought to you by the United States Marine Corps. If you think you have what it takes, dial 1-800-MARINES or log on to marines.com. Every touchdown will be a Countryside Realty house call. Countryside Realty, the official realtor of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Our keys to the game brought to us by the Indiana Football Digest. You can find them on the web at indianafootballdigest.com. And if you're in the red zone, you're in the Family Express red zone. Remember, Family Express on the web at familyexpress.com with 41 locations with Cravens to order and services throughout Northwest Indiana, including Route 10 in Wheatfield. It's familyexpress.com. Nick Boersma, the band director for Kankakee Valley, is directing the band out onto the field. Again, our national anthem brought to us by the United States Marine Corps. And for more than 50 years, the Hamster Group has established itself as a leader in the communities of Northwest Indiana and surrounding areas, whether it be the development of retail shopping centers, commercial offices, agricultural centers, municipal facilities, and a number of other property types. Hamster Builders has the answers to meet the needs of their customers and communities. Hamster Group in Wheatfield, for quality you can build on. You can call them at 219-956-3111 or look them up on the web at hamstergroup.com. Kirk Kennedy is the head coach of the Kankakee Valley Cougars, and we're going to start the interview with Coach Kennedy. If we do go to the national anthem, we'll break in. And I do apologize for the truck sounds during Brian Parker's interview. Coach Parker and I were trying to get our connection, and the only way I could interview him was on the side of Route 10 on the way up north. And when we live in DeMont and Wheatfield, we say way up north, Ryan. So I will just tell you that if you hear truck sounds in the background, it wasn't that I was being dangerous. I was actually being responsible. I pulled off to the side of the road to do the interview, but I listened to the interview and heard the truck sounds, and people probably thought I was interviewing Coach while I was driving, but I wasn't. The interview with Kirk Kennedy went just a little bit better. Let's hear from him right now. Pre-game coverage continues here on Regional Radio Sports Network. It's a Week 5 matchup against the Hanover Central Wildcats. Spending a few minutes with Kirk Kennedy, the head coach of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Well, Coach, last week you went into the game against Hobart, and last year's game was a shootout, and this year Hobart got off to a quick start, and then Pickett just ran the ball up and down the field. If you can, tell us a little bit about last week's game and what you expected versus what actually happened.
Well, you go into every week, trying to emphasize the positive and kind of pick out areas where you think you may have an advantage or areas where you might be successful. And I think for us, because you gotta, if you want to find solutions, you gotta look in the mirror. You gotta analyze yourself. You can't just say, well, Hobart was better than us, or Hobart this, Hobart that, because that doesn't solve anything. Some fundamental flaws, some technique issues, and the kids care, the kids want to win, the kids work hard. It's just a matter of getting some things fixed, getting some things corrected, getting some things cleaned up, and you kind of hope that those negative Friday nights turn into learning experiences, and you come out the other side, better as a result.
Every week we talk about Marco Castro, we talk about Diego Arroyo, we talk about Grayley Weaver, but last week you got great contributions from Jaden Anderson. What was his reaction when we really had a game from him that we hadn't seen in quite some time?
Well, we were without Adrian Etchman last week, and he's one of the key cogs in our overall passing attack, and obviously we knew, Diego knew that he was going to have to go maybe some other sources, other routes to get some things done, and Jaden is our tight end, so he runs more, low-level and intermediate routes that Diego can get rid of the ball quicker, and Jaden's a heck of a football player, and that's no surprise to us. He played last year as a sophomore. He was one of our key defensive players, and this year he's going both ways at outside linebacker and tight end, to very high impact positions. But Jaden's a heck of a football player, and it was good to see him get involved in the offense to the degree that he did.
This week's opponent, Hanover Central, has an all-state candidate of their own in Caden Verrett. Their offense is high-powered, but they're also strong on defense. What do you think about this week's team, and especially Hanover Central coming into KV? It's a tough win whenever you play Hanover Central, but it'll be fun to play them at home.
Well, this is their second year in the conference, and obviously the year they had last year, and by the time we played them, there wasn't any surprises. Coach Parker does a great job there, and they got a lot of great football players, and right now they're a very strong program, and we know that, and we're focusing on us, and trying to be the best KV football team that we can be, because that's what it's going to take to accept this challenge and go out there and compete with them. So the focus is on us, our attitude, our week's preparation, and our level of execution. Referring back to what I said earlier about fundamentals and technique, we just got to get better at the ordinary things and do the little things right, have a sense of urgency, and go out there and play hard, but maybe more importantly, play smart.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about this season. We spoke about it before we did our interview. we're halfway home. After this week, you're 5 games in to a minimum of a 10-game schedule. Give me an injury update on the players that have been out, where you expect them to be, and how your team feels. Basically, you're halfway through the year. This is where the injuries start to become a little more chronic, and your troops have to kind of figure out a way to grind it out to the end of the year.
Well, so far, we've had a couple injuries. I mentioned Adrian Utchman. He's back. He's going to play this week, so that's good. That'll energize our offense a little bit, and our defense. Adrian's one of our best cover men in the secondary, so him being an important two-way starter, it'll be great to get him back. Let's see, Aiden Fuquay, nose tackle. He's a pretty big boy. He was out with an ankle, and he didn't play last week against Hobart, and he's close to getting back. So it's either going to be this week or next week. So, all of our injuries that kept kids out, for the most part, we're starting to heal up and get them back. We've got some kids banged up with minor things that you have with football, but overall, I have to say that our injury situation right now is pretty solid. Like I said, we're getting those 2 back, and Chris Scott, we lost him. He potentially could have been one of our linebackers. We lost him back in the preseason, and he's going to be out for the year. So that's very unfortunate. He's a great kid and would have been an important part of our team. So, we got worse, back in preseason before we even took the field. So, have to overcome that. But as far as our injury situation, that's about it.
We're going to truncate our interview with Kirk Kennedy. Kirk Kennedy always really magnanimous with his time, Ryan. He spends every Tuesday morning with me, unless I forget, then it's Wednesday mornings. But this week I called him, and normally he picks up the phone like clockwork, but he's also the attendance officer at Kankakee Valley, so he was in the middle of a situation. And when I got back on the phone, he's like, hey, man, you missed me last week. I missed you this week. So Kirk Kennedy, always a good sport, and we do appreciate him. Starting line is being brought to us by Scott Miller. In the market to buy or sell a home in Northwest Indiana, then you look no further than Scott Miller Realtor. Scott Miller is a 5-star rated broker with numerous awards and accolades, such as top 1% of all teams within Berkshire Hathaway nationally. In addition, Scott is in the top 15% HomeSnap agents nationwide, and he's the recipient of the HomeSnap Excellence in Client Service Award based on his numerous client reviews, and is a top producing agent throughout the region. The cool thing about Scott Miller, who was born and raised in Northwest Indiana, he's honest, hardworking, and he believes that communication with his clients is key. Scott enjoys spending time with his family and looks forward to helping your family as well. If you want results, you got to call Scott Miller, Realtor of Berkshire Hathaway HS Realty at 219-263-3039. And don't forget to visit my guy Scott Miller, his website. It's Scott Miller at scottmiller.bhhsexecutive.com for results that move you. In the market to buy, sell, or both. Ryan, you know what time it is. It's
Scott Miller time.
Yeah, Scott Miller, what a good guy. I'm telling you, I got a chance to talk to him during our preview show over in Valparaiso, and I asked him straight up, Scott, why do you do what you do? Do you get a lot of results from this? And he said, the positive thing about this is I'm giving back to my community. I'm giving back to my friends and family. I played for Coach Condrey. He goes, and this is the guy you want representing you when you're buying a home. I would implore you to make sure you reach out to Scott Miller. Again, that website is scottmiller.bhhsexecutive.com. Those results will absolutely move you. Starting lineup for the Kankakee Valley Cougars. On offense, the left tackle is Gavin Joy. Left guard, Max Duttlinger. At center, it's going to be Miles Kitchen. Hunter Urbano is at right guard, and Gavin Renfro is the right tackle. Tight end tonight's going to be Jaden Anderson. Fullback Nolan Kustra. Wide receivers back in the lineup after being in protocol last week is Adrian Eichmann, and he'll be joined on the outside by Grayley Weaver. The running back-quarterback combination, they are the fuel in the engine that is the Kankakee Valley Cougars offense. At quarterback, it's number 2, Diego Arroyo, and the running back is number 22. That's Marco Castro. Remember, Castro on the season so far, 118 rushes for 857 yards and 7 touchdowns. Starting lineup offensively for Hanover Central looks like this. At left tackle, it's Blake Belcher. The guard is going to be Ian Padilla. Jack O'Connell is at center. James Tarzan is the right guard, and Matt Oler is the right tackle. They run wide receivers all over the place with Henry Maurer at X, Braden Zvek at Z, Rocco Bartolomeo, and it's a name we'll be saying a lot. You heard it in the interview. He's the Y receiver. Why? Because he's a receiver. The cat receiver is Anthony Lehman, and it's all in front of the offensive of Tommy Bonner, the quarterback, and the All-State candidate, Jaden Verrett. Verrett, the running back, 53 rushes, 423 yards, and 4 touchdowns, 5 receptions, 69 yards, and 4 touchdowns as well. Defensively for Kankakee Valley at left end, it'll be Gavin Joy. George Flores and Grayley Weaver over the nose on the defensive tackle area. The soccer player turned football player, and I really think he was a football player the whole time. That's Brady Sampson. Here come the Cougars out to the field. Linebacking core is Castro, Ritchie, Deerdorf, and Jaden Anderson. And on the defensive backfield, Nolan Kustra, Adrian Eichmann back in the lineup again, and Jason Parker for Kankakee Valley. Defensively for Hanover Central, at the end it's going to be Shane Kindlin. Ian Padilla is the nose guard. Nathan Kindlin at defensive tackle. They run 4 linebackers of Luke Kopak, Kyron Turner, Lincoln Zerby, and Landon Kaduti at the outside linebacker in the spot. Free safety is Jacob Furco. Strong safety, Dylan Bowen. Rocco Bartolomeo is at corner along with Evan Marsiglio. That's the defensive lineup for Hanover Central. So now the Kankakee Valley Cougar Band is moving towards that Kankakee Valley logo, and we'll ask our camera person, Mara Graff, to zoom in just a little bit if she can, if she's got her ears on, and give us just a little bit of a closer look at this. So we can see the Kankakee Valley Cougar Band as she's moving into our position here. Again, we thank her for her help today. If you want to be helping student athletes as well, you can go to rrsn.com, and we'll get ready to join the Kankakee Valley Cougar Band for the playing of our national anthem. Again, our national anthem brought to us by the United States Marine Corps. If you think you have what it takes, dial 1-800-MARINES or log on to marines.com.
Once again, we'd like to welcome everyone here this evening to President Jones Field here on the campus of Kankakee Valley High School. And at this time, if you would please stand. If you're wearing a hat, we ask that you please remove it. And let's join together with the Kankakee Valley Band as we honor the greatest nation in the world with the playing of our national anthem.
Special thanks to those men and women here at home and around the world protecting our freedoms each and every day. A national anthem brought to us by the United States Marine Corps. If you think you have what it takes, dial 1-800-MARINES or log on to marines.com. Well, Ryan, give me your keys to the game that's brought to us by our friends at Ivy Tech Lake County.
Well, Vince, I'm very excited for this matchup. As we were talking a little bit off air, you know, one of the players that I'm really looking for specifically on Hanover Central side is their starting strong safety in Dylan Bowen. He's the brother of a familiar face.
Come on, Bowen. Is he really?
He just so happens to be. And if you don't know who Drake Bowen is, he's a starting linebacker for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and he also plays baseball for the Fighting Irish as well. Turns out Dylan Bowen, I mean, he's a heck of a player right now, I'll be honest with you. He's leading in several categories as a top performer for the Wildcats. According to Max Preps, he's leading in tackles per game with 8.3, and he has 3 interceptions on the year as well. So he's doing phenomenal, and he's a wide receiver for and defensive back for Hanover Central. He also plays baseball. He's a number 5 in the state as a prospect. So a heck of a player for this. And, he's looking to kind of step out of the shadow of his older brother as well, and I think he's doing a heck of a job for Hanover. So, when you look at the Kankakee Valley side, I wouldn't be throwing it too much to the strong safety, and I do expect the run game to still be prominent for Kankakee Valley as well. But Hanover does a great job of doing back and forth as far as, the passing game and the run game. They're very good at being balanced on the offensive side, and obviously their defense is good as well. You've seen the scoreboards and the charts as far as what they can put up against their opponents as well, and their opponents don't necessarily score all that much. So I expect this to be a really hard-fought game, and overall it's going to be fought tooth and nail.
So the toss was won by Hanover Central. They deferred, so Kankakee Valley will receive the opening kickoff. They'll be moving from north to south or left to right on your laptop, mobile device, and radio dial. We'll take a quick 30 and be back with the opening kickoff. This is Indiana High School football on Regional Radio Sports.
Looking to lead with purpose? Rooted Influence by Ryan Lutz is the game changer you've been waiting for. Dive into the gripping story of a football coach determined to prove his doubters wrong and a former quarterback struggling to reclaim his life. Together they discover the true essence of leadership, Rooted Influence, a journey of resilience, redemption, and finding the root of lasting leadership. Whether you're on the field or off, this book will inspire you to lead with impact. Get your copy today. Available on Amazon or go to RyanSpencerLutz.com for more.
Live from Kankakee Valley High School in Wheatfield, Indiana, the Regional Radio Sports Network and RRSN.com video present the 2024 Indiana High School football season and the Northwest Indiana Football Game of the Week. And tonight, it's a Northwest Crossroads Conference battle between the Kankakee Valley Cougars, who come with a record of 2-2. They're 0-2 in the NCC, and they're hosting the Hanover Central Wildcats. Their record 3-1, and they're 2-0 in conference. Along with the team here at the home of the Cougars, it's Mara Graff on camera and my broadcast partner, Ryan Matthews. I'm Vince Gray, bringing you all of our play-by-play action for week number 5. Ryan, we're halfway in to the season, and the Cougars are getting ready to take the opening kickoff. They'll have Kustra back there with Eichmann to receive that kick. Kicking off for Hanover Central will be I can't even speak today. Adeo Desidero, who will be the kicker. Desidero 10 for 10 in PATs and 2 for 3 in field goal attempts. He's a left-footed kicker. Here comes the opening kickoff on the way. It's a short kick. It'll be played short to the outside by Eichmann. Eichmann back in lineup. He's at the 20. Give him the 25, 30. He's stopped on that play by number 21. It's Corey Hessidy. He gets the stop. Kankakee Valley will be in business. They'll be on their own 30-yard line, 1st and 10.
I'm excited to see what this Kankakee Valley offense has in store for us, especially after a rough week last week at Hobart. I'm expecting Marco Castro to get the bulk of it, though.
So the Cougars come out with that familiar offensive set. They've got Kuster on the power position on the left. They've got Weaver and Eichmann stacked to the near side. Arroyo barking out the signals. Let's see what he's got. Grayley Weaver in motion, and there's going to be motion, and that's another thing that's bugged Kankakee Valley all season long. It'll be a 5-yard infraction. Cougars will be now in business, 1st and 15.
That's not exactly what you want against this tough Hanover team going into it.
So the Wildcats defense with Conlon, Padilla, and Conlon up front. Make sure I've got that right. I don't think I do. I'm going to take a look at that real quick. Everything's written down. You do this at 2 o'clock in the morning. Things happen. Hand off to Castro. Castro fights his way back to the original line of scrimmage. He'll get a gain of 4. So a good start for Castro. Castro averaging 7.5, almost 8 yards per carry. But the last 2 weeks he's been bottled up just a little bit. He went for 105 last week, 95 the week before, after running 330 yards both of the first 2 weeks. 11:34 to go in the quarter. 2nd down and 11, ball on the 29-yard line with the play clock down to 18. Here comes Arroyo with the signal. He'll hand it off again to Castro. Castro gets him seamed. Castro takes on a blocker. He's got his head down, fights his way forward. 1st down, Cougars. Give him a gain of 11. He took on a man. Oh, my goodness.
Castro is a freight train, and he displays it right there. He lowers his head, hits the player down low where it hurts, and picks up the first down.
My goodness, Castro through the line. He took on a blocker.
That was a hard hit. That's exactly what you want from your running back.
So the first down and 10 for the Cougars. As we mark our highlights, ball on the 41-yard line. Almost a bad snap. Good job by Arroyo. Arroyo got out of trouble. He's still on his feet. How did he even catch that ball? Call it a loss or two. It could have been a whole lot more. Good job by Arroyo to grab that ball.
Now, these little mistakes that you cannot have, especially at the start of the game when you're driving with momentum, it cannot happen against this fast Hanover Central team.
So Hanover Central gets a stop. Second down and 11, ball on the 39-yard line. We're in the first quarter of play. So glad you could join us here on Regional Radio Sports for week number 5 of Indiana High School football. Anderson, the tight end on the near side, he's joined by Kustra. Parks in the slot, joined out there by Eichmann back in the lineup. Here comes the snap to Arroyo. They'll hand it to Castro again. Castro again getting in the secondary. And again, they're trying to strip Castro. Give him a gain of 3, but again, Castro, I think the word's out. 2 fumbles last week, Ryan, so they're going after the ball.
Yeah, it's something that you see a lot, unfortunately, from Castro, but at the same time, if he's efficient, I mean, as long as you're keeping up with it, it's not too much of a problem.
10 minutes to go in the first quarter, 39 ball on the 42-yard line. Obvious passing situation with Weaver and Eichmann in the slot on the near side with Kustra. They'll probably roll to that side of the formation. And it's a quick pass out there to Eichmann, but Eichmann, it's sniffed out, and he gets ankle tackled out there. Excellent stop on that by Marsiglio. Marsiglio makes the stop, called a loss of 1. So the first completion leads to a punt. Cougars are going to have to punt with the ball on the 40-yard line. Marsiglio with a great stop, and Bartolomeo is in the back. He's already said, I'm going to signal for the fair catch if anybody's close. Arroyo back to punt for the Cougars. He'll be protected up front by Castro. Snap on the way with the clock running. And it's a good one. Let's see what Arroyo can do with this. It's an end-over-end kick, and it's up the elevator shaft. That's good. Bartolomeo will take the snap. He gets downfield. He's going to be brought down by Ed Ritchie. Also good coverage by Kustra and Weaver there. So 1st and 10 for Hanover Central, and that vaunted offense getting ready to come out on the field. Ball on the 29-yard line. So the Cougars had to punt. They had the ball for 2 minutes and 55 seconds of that drive, but couldn't make anything happen. And again, KV with some penalties that hurt them as well.
That's another thing for Kankakee Valley, as they are a primary run offense. They do seem to be on the opposite side of the time of possession battle, and that's something that they need to control if they got to beat this Hanover team.
Tommy Bonner, the quarterback, 49 for 75 this season. He's got Caden Verrett on his right hip. They bring Bartolomeo in motion. They'll hand it to Verrett. Verrett on the outside. That's a stop by Castro, but again, Verrett on his feet. He doesn't go down easy, but there's number 7 with the stop for the Cougars. That's Jason Parker. Verrett got 4, maybe 5 yards on that carry. Give him 5. Verrett with 5 yards on the pickup, but a nice job out there by number 7, Parker, to make that stop. Jason Parker kept him in front of him. Original contact was from 85, Brady Anderson, who's done very well this season. So now again, tight formation for Hanover Central. Let's see if they keep going to the bell cow. That's Verrett. He goes back to the right hip. Now again, Bartolomeo in motion. It'll be a jet sweep to Bartolomeo. He's got blockers in front. It looks like the Packers. Now Bartolomeo's got first down yardage plus a lot more. Give Bartolomeo a gain of 7 on that jet sweep. So they handed it off to Bartolomeo, makes it 1st and 10. Ball gets moved forward. It's all the way up to the 41-yard line for Hanover Central, and this is the power that they run, and their coach really loves Bartolomeo.
Just a fantastic sweep. That's exactly what you want if you're calling that play, to be able to pick up that chunk yardage. It's good to have that against this Kankakee Valley team.
So power formation to the left side. Again, there's a snap. It's coming to Bonner. Now they put Verrett on the left hip. Bartolomeo to the near side. Now they'll roll that way. They take a look. He's got all kinds of time. The ball out in space. It's covered well, and it's intercepted! Kankakee Valley gets it. It's Brad Whaley. Brad Brev Whaley with the first interception of the ball game. It's a turnover. It's 1st and 10 Kankakee Valley at the 34-yard line. What a play.
Bet you wouldn't have guessed that Kankakee Valley gets the first interception of the game with how much that Bowen picks off the ball. I mean, what a change of events, and this is exactly what you want if you're Kankakee Valley. You start that first quarter with a little bit more momentum. Let's see if this offense can get something rolling.
So let's take a look at the replay with Brev Whaley. Comes out to the edge. Whaley with the interception. Oh, my goodness. What a play from Brev Whaley. So Whaley gets the interception. Here come the Cougars in business. So Kankakee Valley on the 34-yard line. 8 minutes and 8 seconds. They hand it off to Castro. Castro's a marked man. He gets 4, maybe 5. Give him 4. But Castro gets the handoff, and a bevy of Hanover Central Wildcats in there. Brev Whaley with the interception. Nice job by Whaley.
And Bowen on the tackle there as well. It looked like he went even lower last time because if you remember, it was Bowen as well that got kind of freight trained on that first drive.
2nd and 6, so call it a gain of 4 ball on the 38-yard line. Here comes the snap to Arroyo. Look for a blitz, and there's a jump, and it's going to be Hanover Central making the mistake. So add 5 more yards. Hanover Central, man, they're like a dog on a bone. They want to make sure that they get what they want.
Well, they've made it far in the tournament, and so you have to think that they're eager to get up ahead on this one as well, just so that they can continue to make a statement on the state.
So short down and distance for the Cougars. Call it 2nd down and 1. Guess what? They're probably going to hand the ball to Castro. That's what I would do. Almost over the head. They hand it to Castro. Castro fights his way forward. He's still on his feet. Nobody's stopping Castro. He gets a gain of 4, and it's 4 hard-fought yards. So Castro's got 8 yards on the drive plus a 5-yard penalty. Moves the ball up to the 47-yard line. Give the stop for Hanover to Shane Conlon. Number 95, Conlon on that defense.
And how about that jump cut from Castro as well to be able to avoid the tackle? I mean, he was able to get outside and pick up that first down with ease.
If you listen to 80s music, you might as well jump. Go ahead and jump. So here comes Kankakee Valley Cougars. They're getting a move here. And now they jump again. So this happens all the time. The Cougars are jumping. This is probably their 10th or 12th illegal motion penalty in the last 3 weeks. So they'll go back 5. And Kirk Kennedy's calling a timeout, and he is not happy. We're going to go ahead and take a quick 30, and when we come back, we'll continue with this great football game. Kankakee Valley and Hanover Central, all even at 0 on Regional Radio Sports.
We Build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America are men and women building roads and bridges to get Hoosiers where they're going today and a new energy infrastructure that will keep Indiana competitive tomorrow. LIUNA's over 12,000 statewide members also grow local economies, earning good union wages, shopping where they live and work, and paying taxes. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
Back here at Kankakee Valley, and Kirk Kennedy, you could see he was expressing his displeasure. 2nd illegal motion penalty on the Cougars. Band's in the stands. They moved the band back into the stands, by the way, which is awesome. So now the Cougars are looking at 1st down and 14. Arroyo again waiting for the snap. Here comes the handoff to Castro. Castro again in the secondary. Castro taking on blockers. Give him a gain of 7. Another stop for Bowen defensively for Hanover Central, but I really love the way that Castro's running right now.
He's running with a head full of steam. I mean, doing phenomenal there. And then, I mean, he understands the threat of the strong safety in Bowen. I mean, the track record of the family, normally they're heavy hitters.
And that's on the baseball field. So the ball's on the 49-yard line. There's a referee's timeout. And Ryan, I know you were worried about it. The food is here, just so you know.
Oh, man, it was on my mind since we stopped.
Food catered by Family Express, and we'll show you the replay of that Castro run, and it's a bruising run. Remember, we'll have our halftime highlights. Our halftime highlights will be brought to us by Scott Miller, Pursue Realty Group. Scott Miller. Now another handoff to Castro, and he's in trouble, and he gets taken down in the backfield. That was an excellent play defensively. Call it a loss of 7. Jacob Hilland made the stop. What a good job by Hilland to jump in there. So we'll call it a loss of, let's call it 6. Castro just couldn't get outside of it. But I'm encouraged by Kankakee Valley's offense right now, Ryan. They're doing a lot of things offensively, and they've had the majority of the possession so far with 5:51. The longer they're in this game, the longer they're in this game. So, again, the ball pushed back to the 44-yard line. Here comes that strong offensive line. Arroyo, again, barks out the signals. He'll go towards the formation. He's got to get rid of it. Holds on to it a little too long. Goes deep to the outside. He was trying to connect with Weaver. Excellent coverage on the outside by Marsiglio.
Now, one thing that I want to see more from Arroyo is that on situations like that, there wasn't necessarily a receiver open, but Arroyo is an athlete in himself, and I think that he would have been able to pick up some pretty decent yardage as well. He's got a leg on him, too, as the team's punter, and so even if he didn't pick up the first down, I believe he would have been able to pin Hanover Central down deep if he didn't get that first down.
So Bartolomeo back to receive in single safety. Here comes the snap to Arroyo. It's a good one. Arroyo has all kinds of time, and again, Arroyo gets it up, and he turned it over. Bartolomeo takes the fair catch. Anderson and Weaver down there, but no move for him. The ball will be on the 28-yard line. We'll call it the 28-yard line for Hanover Central.
Just be on the lookout of Arroyo as well at the punter position because, I mean, I don't know if you saw that, Vince, but Hanover Central was able to get to him pretty quick.
So maybe he fakes it and just runs to the outside?
I mean, he was a threat for a block there. I was hoping on, Kankakee Valley's side that they didn't let that up.
So one interception on the day so far, and so for Bonner, that's his third interception. He'll come back, and he'll have on his left hip, he'll have Caden Verrett, the handoff inside. Verrett gets stopped in there by Deerdorf, joined by Anderson. Give Verrett a gain of 1. And Caden Verrett, a marked man as well, got a chance to spend a little time with that young man down in Indianapolis for our Gritties Awards. Mm-hmm. And you want to talk about a really heady ball player and just a fine young man? If you get a chance to see him play, you're definitely in for a treat with this Hanover Central team with their Carolina blue. And what color is their second color, do you think?
I consider it a maroon.
Okay, we'll call it maroon. Second down and 8, ball on the 30, 4:48. Again, they'll hand it to Verrett. Verrett with that high running style, trying to get to the outside. He's not going anywhere. Verrett gets back to the line of scrimmage. Give Ed Ritchie the stop. Barely back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe give him a gain of 1. Ed Ritchie on the stop for the Cougars. Verrett tried to jump off right tackle. He couldn't get there, so it's third and long. Obvious passing situation for Tommy Bonner with the clock winding at 4:25. Third and 8, ball on the 30-yard line. Kankakee Valley, and we don't want to jinx it, Ryan, but they've been impressive defensively and offensively in this first quarter.
As both teams are looking at the route to state, we'll talk a little bit more about the pairing show here in a bit.
Trips receivers to the left now. Back to pass is going to be Bonner. Bonner breaks contain now. He's got it downfield. He gets it to the yard to gain. And that was an excellent pass and reception. Give the reception to number 15. That's Henry Maurer. Maurer gets the reception and the first down. Call it a gain of 11. So Maurer gets the first down reception as Bonner broke contain.
He was able to put some zip on that ball. Looking from the call from the sideline, it looks like here. Maybe an audible.
So a first down gain of 11. Here comes the audible. They look to the sideline. Again, spread receivers. Instead, they hand it to Verrett. Verrett finds a wall inside, but he fights his way forward, and he's still going forward. How did he get there? Verrett was stopped originally. He was dragged down by Anderson after a huge gain, but Verrett was stopped dead to rights. And instead, Verrett got through that contain. Verrett got through that, and Verrett got stopped originally, and the line just stopped him, and he just kept pushing.
Looked like he was taking notes from Marco Castro's film this week, huh?
Verrett with the gain. So again, here comes a man in motion. It's going to be Bartolomeo. Instead, they fake the handoff, and there's going to be Gavin Joy. They're not going to let him get there. It's really close. After that 7-yard gain, give them 3 more. So they're right near the line to gain. It's going to be third and short as the ball moves up to the 42-yard line. Gavin Joy had him and pulled him back. So far an 11-yard gain. We'll call it an actual two receptions, 2 for 3 so far in the ball game for Bonner for only 10 yards, but 11 of those just got a first down.
That was a very impressive play-action pass as well from Bonner.
Maurer and Bartolomeo to the near side. Verrett, you can expect to get the handoff. He comes to the left hip. Now, he'll get the handoff. Of course, they're going to give it to him. He breaks contain to the outside, and he's free. Down, he's still on his feet. Is he going to go all the way? He's at the 10, the 5. He's into the end zone for a Countryside Realty house call. Let's see what the call is. And they say that he stepped out at the 1-yard line. Oh, my goodness. He was caught in the backfield. Parker had him, but he got free. A huge gain for Verrett. Verrett gets it down into the Family Express red zone.
Unbelievable. A 60.
Oh, actually, I apologize. They're calling it a touchdown. It is a touchdown. It goes into the end zone. It's a Countryside Realty house call. Confusion from the referees and this reporter as well. Here's a kick on the way. Snap up. And it's good. So give the touchdown to Verrett. For Verrett, the touchdown is going to be, taking a look at the mark here, Ryan. We'll call it 51 yards for Verrett on the touchdown. So Verrett with the 51-yard touchdown. The referees made no indication of the touchdown, and I think that's what the center official is saying to the team. So 51-yard touchdown for Verrett. Verrett found the end zone with a Countryside Realty house call. The extra point was up and good. 7-0 is our score, and we'll take a quick 30 here on Regional Radio Sports.
Today's game is being brought to you by Countryside Realty, the preferred realtor of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. Countryside's team of realtors is ready to handle your next real estate transaction with honesty, professionalism, and over 25 years of industry knowledge. Don't go unrepresented in one of the largest investments of your life. Call their DeMont office to speak with an agent at 219-987-SELL. That's 219-987-7355. Visit Countryside Realty on the web at 987sell.com or find them on Facebook. Serving all of Northwest Indiana, Countryside Realty, where professionalism matters.
And Ryan, I'm better than I thought because Logan Zills is coming on to kick off to Eichmann and to Kustra. Guess what? I did capture the replay.
Nice. There you go.
All right, so 51-yard touchdown. Here comes a short kick again. It's near. Good job by Eichmann. Ball is loose. Eichmann stays on it. They're going to say, is it Kankakee Valley ball? It is. So 51-yard touchdown. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays. The total yardage on that was 72 yards. The scoring result, 51 yards for Verrett. The total time was 2 minutes and 54 seconds, the time of the drive. So Kankakee Valley in business. Good job by Eichmann to fall on it. Starts out at the 23-yard line. 2:25 to go in our first quarter of play. See if the Cougars can answer. They played well so far. Now they're going to give a jet sweep to Eichmann. This is what they ran last year when they had a little bit Lane Zander going on. Looks like it's going to be a gain of 1, so give it a gain of 1. That's considered a pass. So it's a completion for Arroyo. And again, we will have our halftime highlight package, Ryan. We have a little bit of time because you know it is homecoming. You were homecoming king, weren't you?
Ah, man, I'll tell people that.
Yes, you were. KV versus Hanover tonight, and what a good night it is. Minute 49 left on our first quarter clock. Spread formation. Here comes the handoff to Castro. Castro gets to the outside. He turns the corner. Oh, my goodness, he hit a wall. And that wall is number 55. Stop from Nathan Conlon. Nathan Conlon says, welcome to my house. So I was right about that lineup. We'll give him a gain of 1. I had Nathan and I had Jack out there, and I thought I'd made a mistake, but Sean is on one side and Nathan on the other. Sean goes 6'2", 210, and Nathan goes 6'2", 240. Twins, of course, and you know what? There's no biscuits left for breakfast after those gentlemen get done eating. Cougars to the outside, including number 7, Jason Parker to the far side. Long down and distance. No, it's going to be a delay. They're going to hand it off to Castro. This is a great play call. Castro fighting his way forward. Give him a gain of 6. The ball is on the ground. Another fumble, but Castro didn't lose it this time. Give him another gain of 6. Castro's off to a great start in terms of rushing. If he gets himself up to 150 or so today, he'll be over 1,000 yards and averaging 200 yards per game. Are the Cougars going to go for it? Here comes Weaver. Let's see what the Cougars are going to do. The ball's on the 32-yard line. It looks like it's going to be 4th down and 2 yards to go. Remember, Hanover Central did jump the last time. So let's see what the Cougars do. Let's see if they're going to dance with the girl that brung them, and that would be Castro. So it's going to be a power formation, and they're going to go for it. They're going to give it to Castro. Castro finding his way forward. I think he's got it. He does. 2 yards. First down, Cougars. That's a gutsy call. That is a gutsy call from the Cougars.
That's a right call as well. I mean, you're facing a good team in Hanover Central, and you want to make a statement. You want to get some momentum. As you said, we're halfway through the season after this, Mark. You want to go only up from here, and Kankakee Valley's making that statement on this drive.
So a 2-yard gain for Castro on 4th down. That really is a statement from the Cougars, and they haven't made much of those this season, and that's going to be the end of our first quarter. When we come back after this 2-minute timeout or 1-minute timeout, we'll show you that Castro run and get you ready for the second quarter. At the end of one quarter, 7-0 Hanover Central with the lead here on Regional Radio Sports.
Today's game is being sponsored by Family Express. Your friends at Family Express remind you to download their all-new mobile app. Once inside, you can check your perks balance, find fuel prices for your favorite location, order fabulous food from Craven's to order, even get a car wash subscription to keep the street grime at bay. Join the digital revolution and get the Family Express app today. Toppin Inc. is a family-owned remodeling and construction business specializing in remodeling projects, new construction, room additions, as well as siding, roofing, and replacement windows. Based in DeMont, they service Jasper and Newton counties. They also service the communities of Bass Lake, Lake Matson, Kankakee, Knox, and Culver, and are an A-plus member of the Better Business Bureau. If you're seeking employment opportunities, their phone number is 219-928-3106, and they're on the web at toppininc.com.
And let's take a look at that Castro run. Take a look at this run on 4th down and 2. Here's a power formation with Weaver. They hand it to Castro. He fights his way forward after initial contact. First down, Kankakee Valley. And now we're back into it, Ryan. Cougars are going to be 1st and 10 on the 33-yard line. That could be a pivotal play in this ball game. Arroyo barking the signals again with a fresh clock, ball on the 34-yard line, and they're going to look for the option to Castro. They get it outside. Castro gets it. He's taken out in the backfield. Again, another stop in the defensive backfield. This time it's taken down by Landon Cody. Kadudi, excuse me.
I love that last name. It's got to be fun to say, right? Kadudi?
Yeah, it is, but I got to learn how to say it. So we'll call it a loss of 3. So now they're running in another play. They're bringing Dudorf into the lineup, along with number 7, Jason Parker. Hey, can I give a shout-out? Can I give a shout-out to my friend Paul of Villapando?
I guess so.
Paul's getting married tomorrow.
Congratulations.
He is. Paul's one of my very good friends, and his son Alex and Lucas, good friends of mine. He's getting married tomorrow, and I don't know what he was thinking. I'm his best man. Timeout, Kankakee Valley. They'll take another one. Let's take one more look, Ryan, if you want to, at this Castro run. Now take a look at the power from the Cougars. Power formation. Take a look. They've stacked the line. Weaver leading the block, and they went right to Weaver's side. And I also promised that we would show Verrett's 51-yard touchdown run because I was a little confused. But you know what? Guess what? I captured it. So here's Verrett's run. They hand the ball to Verrett. Verrett breaks contain. He's got 2 or 3 players on him. Gets into the secondary. An ankle tackle from Parker couldn't get there. And then just too much speed to the corner. Dove in for the touchdown. 51 yards, made it 7-0. So again, I must be better than I thought because I didn't think I captured that replay, but I did. So again, remember, we'll bring you these halftime highlights as well. We might have some updates as well from Scoreboard Central. Remember, it's brought to you by the Indiana Football Digest. Find them on the web at indianafootballdigest.com.
Pretty impressive so far around the area. North Judson is up 33-0 against Culver Community. Valpo is up 3-0 against Chesterton.
It's going to be a good game.
In the first quarter. Oh, did I mention that North Judson game is not even close to be over? It is in the second quarter as well.
Here we go. Snap to Arroyo. Now he fakes. He's going to look for a slant. Eichmann got fouled. And there it is, pass interference. And they call it twice. Pass interference was the call. The ball was tipped in the air. And Weaver had a chance to get the deflection. But there was pass interference to begin with.
It's a good call. I mean, obvious contact as well. It looked like there was definitely trying to be a play made on the ball, but you can't bump into the receiver just like that.
And Weaver got pulled down, and that's why he was upset. pass interference to call on Hanover, so that's a pivotal play.
Man, Weaver's quick, isn't he?
He really is.
I mean, as a former corner, I'd hate to guard that guy.
Well, he's also got size. Plus, he also does a great job selling chocolate ice cream at Strachan Mantell's. So I talked to him for a little bit this week, and what a good kid he is. Ball on the 47-yard line, 11 minutes and 8 seconds. They hand it to Castro. Castro's going nowhere. Give him no gain.
From here on out, I'm gonna have you in my phone as Vince Gray, chocolate
ice cream man. Call it just a short. We'll get him back to the line of scrimmage. Call it a no gain, and Castro is going to feel this tomorrow. Second quarter of play, 10 minutes and 43 seconds, clock running, 2nd and 10 for Kankakee Valley. Castro joined out there by Kustra in the backfield with Arroyo. Here comes the snap. Now they hand it off to Castro with a lead block from Kustra. Castro falls forward. Give him a gain of 6. So Castro picks up 6 more. 6th play of the drive. Call it 7th with the penalty. Play clock winding to 30. 10-17 to go in our second quarter play. 3rd and 5. Makeable down and distance for KV as Weaver brings in the play. Logan Zills was the kicker. He's been kicking off all day long, Ryan, and I, of course, misidentified him. Parks on the near side for the Cougars. They're in that power formation they've been running all day long. They'll hand it to Castro. A little bit of a bad exchange, but Castro fights his way forward. It looks like he's got enough. No! They're going to mark him short. Give him a gain of 4. He needed 5. I think that's a bad spot. I don't know, Ryan. I think that might be a bad spot.
So, all right, Coach Gray, you going for this one too?
Absolutely. No doubt. Because of the punting situation earlier, I think you absolutely have to go for it. So Coach Gray says we're going to go for it. Ball's now into Hanover Central territory on the 44-yard line. Cougars playing very well right now. They need 1 yard. They're going to give it to Castro. Castro got it and then some. Castro fights his way forward. Give him another 7 yards for Castro. Stop made by Jacob Furco downfield, but Castro, that's his second conversion in the last probably 3 minutes. 9 minutes and 10 seconds, and Castro's numbers have got to be adding up, Ryan.
So right now, he's rushed the ball 14 times for a total of 45 yards, and you would think that it would be a little bit more than that, but these runs that are going negative yards are really eating at him.
So Castro again in the backfield. He's trying to make his way. Arroyo barking out the signals. Eichmann on the near side. Now they'll sweep to this side with Kustra. Kustra gets out there, fights his way forward. He's brought down, but he got a gain of 3. Give the tackle to Lincoln Zerby. Zerby made the tackle for Hanover, but another gain of 4. Good job by the Cougars to keep the clock moving.
It looked like a missed horse collar on that as well. If you looked at the jersey, you could see the shoulder pads as well from behind.
I saw it.
The official was right there. It was pretty confusing. I thought the flag would have been called for sure, but the clock keeps moving for Kankakee Valley, and I don't think they can ask for much more.
11th play of the drive for the Cougars with Castro on the left hip, clock winding at 8:13, 2nd and 7, ball on the 34-yard line. It's loose, and Castro falls on it. That was a terrible snap. A bad snap pushes the Cougars back, calling a loss of 7. So -7 on the bad snap. We won't give the negative rushing attempt to Castro because it went off the hands of Arroyo. So now it's 3rd down and long for KV, and just when you think things are going well, they now have a 3rd down and 14. They need to get to the 27-yard line for the first down.
I would think that they need probably a good 20 yards if they want to be in field goal range as well, just for perspective.
Rubalcava's got a strong leg. He had soccer practice this afternoon. Trips receiver to the right side. Now they'll look that way. Arroyo's being protected. He rolls. Arroyo gets rid of it. He's got him in. He's got Weaver. Weaver makes the reception. Give him a gain of 12, but they needed 14, but now they're in a makeable down and distance. Good reception by Grayley Weaver. Weaver coming back to the route, so he has a gain of 12. We're going to call it 4th down and 2.5, and you better believe the Cougars are going to go for it. So far, they're 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions. Maybe they can get Hanover Central to jump and not have to work that hard at 4th down and 3. So Weaver's gain was only 11. Jason Parker to the near side. Weaver's in a power position. I would hand the ball to Castro or maybe have Arroyo run a little bit of an option. Here comes, now they're going to roll to that side. Arroyo's got time. He's got a man. Now Arroyo's going to get away. Arroyo's got a space. He can run it. Arroyo to the outside. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10. Good play by Diego Arroyo. First down, Cougars.
And it's a good read as well. I mean, you look on the opposite side of the line, you've got a lot of linemen looking back at the sweep. I mean, obviously it's the play action to the left, but as soon as you move back to the right, you've got 4 linemen there ready to block for him. He picks up the first down for Kankakee Valley, and they've got all the momentum in the world.
Arroyo with a beautiful 15-yard gain on 4th and 3. Best look he's had all season.
It was a good read. He's been doing good so far this game.
So the Cougars are in business. They're in the Family Express red zone. Castro tries to jump to the outside, but it'll be a loss of 2. Remember, your Family Express red zone brought to you by Family Express. You can find them on the web at familyexpress.com for cravings to order food and a whole lot more at familyexpress.com. We're in the Family Express red zone. Kankakee Valley trying to get a Countryside Realty house call. Ryan, I got to be honest with you. This is not the result I thought I would see from Kankakee Valley. Hanover Central might be surprised. Hanover Central takes a timeout. We will as well. Trying to catch our breath. Kankakee Valley on the move. They're inside the Family Express red zone, and we'll be back in 60 on Regional Radio Sports.
State Farm Insurance asked, if you're feeling stuck in a state of compensation stagnation, another year with no raise, then let State Farm help you get to a better state with a discount double check that can stretch your hard-earned dollars a little farther. They'll go through your car insurance to make sure you're getting all the discounts you deserve. Discounts could add up to 40% and put a few hundred extra dollars in your pocket. Discounts may vary state to state. Danny DeTola, 2449 45th Street, Highland, 963-4444. Andrea Harbin, 6504 U.S. Highway 6 Portage, 762-5514. And Rob Rodakis, 835 Lincoln Way Avenue, Valparaiso, 476-7444.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Back here at Kankakee Valley, and Ryan and I were talking between breaks, and yeah, I'm a little pumped up, man. I'm telling you. First down and 12, ball on the 16-yard line, and I am very impressed with Kankakee Valley's efforts so far. 5:43 to go in our second quarter of play. They trail Hanover Central 7-0, but man, I'm telling you, Castro's had a great first half, and so has Arroyo. What a great read. So Arroyo back to get the snap. He's got Castro on his hip. They go ahead and have a handoff inside to Castro. He gets ankle bit, but he falls forward for 4. Stop going to be made over there for Hanover Central by Dylan Bowen. We've called his number a lot. Give him a gain of 3 back to the original line of scrimmage. A lot of rushes on this drive.
Now, you want to talk about how impressed you are about this team. Now, one thing that I've learned over the last 3 years as far as Coach Kirk Kennedy goes is that, you can never count out a Kirk Kennedy team.
Correct. 15th play of the drive, actually 16th with the penalty. So the Cougars with a spread formation with Eichmann and Weaver, joined by Kuster. They'll go to that side. Arroyo's got a man in the end zone, looking for Eichmann, but it's intercepted. Intercepted in the end zone, so it'll be a touchback. Let's get a number on that one. 24 is the interception. Give the interception to Marsiglio. But again, I appreciate the effort trying to make it. So it's an Arroyo interception. Marsiglio makes the stop. Good job out there, and I'll see if I can capture a replay on that one, Ryan, to see what the look was.
Just absolutely saved the drive there on that one.
So it was an INT, made it 16 yards, so an interception on the 16-yard line. We did get that replay, so we'll show it to you in just a second. Hanover Central has the ball on their own 20-yard line. So Kankakee Valley has a lot to be proud of from that drive. And they ran a lot of clock, too, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
That was like 7.5 minutes on that clock.
Again, if they control the time of possession, they'll do good.
Now, it's Verrett on the outside. He again gets ankle tackled. He gets tackled by Castro in the backfield, and he's pretty pumped up as Verrett gets a gain of 16. 16 yards on the gain for Verrett. A stop and saving tackle for Marco Castro. Quickly back to the line comes Hanover Central. 1st and 10 on the 37, clock winding at 4:42. Now they'll look back to the sideline. They get into formation and wait, kind of like they do in college. Bonner is the quarterback. He's had a good day. Verrett already with a great start. Bad snap. They'll just flip it to outside to Verrett. Verrett cannot be stopped. Give him another gain of 4. Give Verrett 4 on the drive. He was stopped out there on that right side. Looks like the tackle was made by Brady Sampson for Kankakee Valley, but Verrett's just got too much running room.
Now, here's a stat that I bet you wouldn't have guessed at the beginning of the game. Now, we're just past the halfway point of the second quarter. Verrett's got 40 more rushing yards than Castro.
But he's only got 5 less rushes.
He's got half as much.
Here's a pass in the slot, into the flat. Good job in coming up to make the tackle was Eichmann, but the reception was out there for number 8, and that's Lehman. Lehman gets another reception. Give him a gain of, he gets to the 50. So we'll give him a gain of 9. 9 yards on the reception for Lehman and the pass out in the flat. Again, Bonner doing a great job of controlling this offense. He'll take a look now. The receivers will take a look at the sideline, and the play will be signaled in. Hanover Central on the move, and Kankakee Valley frustrated after a 16-play drive resulted in an interception from Arroyo. Tried to force it into the corner to Eichmann. Again, Bonner will fake the handoff. Here comes the blitz. That was Ed Ritchie, and there is Grayley Weaver with the stop. Weaver gets the sack. Called a loss of 5 for Weaver. Nice job by Weaver to get the stop.
Definitely looked like some confusion on the Hanover Central side. It looked like the snap was taken and the handoff was trying to be given. However, the quarterback kind of got a little bit more of a delay than he expected, and the O-line just completely gave in.
So Weaver gets the sack, calling a loss of 5. So 5 yards the loss. Ball sits back on the 45. Now here comes a little sweep to Bartolomeo on the outside. Again, the Cougars stretch him out. Good job by the Cougars and Ed Ritchie to get out there. They say the clock's going to continue to wind. Give Bartolomeo just 1 yard. I've been impressed with KV's defense. I got to tell you.
So far, so good. I mean, they gave up that 1 touchdown run, and, that was the only one where Hanover Central's been able to break into the backfield.
We'll get the total time on that last drive for Kankakee Valley because it was substantial. Call it 2:25 plus 7:02. So that'll be 9 minutes and 27 seconds, the time on the drive. 17 plays. Result in interception, and there's a bad snap. He's back in the backfield. Bonner's down, and there comes Bonner trying to get rid of it, and he's still on his feet. Bonner on the run. He's still going to get rid of it, and it's received. Oh, my goodness. A bad snap results in a 14-yard gain for Bonner. How did he get out of that?
That was just unbelievable. I mean, the elusiveness of Bonner to be able to avoid, 3 tackles on that play? Can we get a replay on that?
Oh, I got the replay. I just got to set it. Bonner with the play, and we will definitely show that one. Now it's 4th down and 2, and Hanover Central's going to do what KV does. They're going to go for it. And we do have the replay, Ryan. I'll show that to you at halftime. Boy, if they can convert here, what a change in fortune at 1:22 and the clock running. KV thought they were in business, but instead expect Verrett to get the handoff. No, instead they're going to run Bonner. He's just going to run straight out. Here comes the Cougars. He's going to get there. Bonner gets tackled, brought down by Anderson, but he give Bonner a gain of 5 and a 1st down Hanover Central with the clock stopped at 1:11 to go in our first quarter of play. And KV will look back on that play and wish that they had made that stop.
They just got to finish. There's small mistakes that they can correct on, and one of the things that I'm kind of encouraging, Kankakee Valley to do and keep their heads up as well, because it is the halfway point of the season, and that sectional draw is coming up just next month.
Yeah, we have to make sure to remind you that it's a timeout Hanover Central. While we've got the opportunity, let's remind you that the pairing show is going to be on October the 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's Coach Bob Lovell and our own Paul Condry. They'll be hosting the parent show as they do every single year. You'll get an opportunity to hear about the teams. You'll get an opportunity to hear about the state. Bob Lovell's forgotten more about football than I know. Paul Condry's forgotten about more football than I know. But if you go to IHSAATV.org on the 13th, that'll be the pairing show. It'll be brought to you on IHSAA Champions Network. Our own Paul Condry and Bob Lovell. By the way, have you ever had a chance to meet Bob Lovell face-to-face?
I think I have at Lucas Oil.
What a good man
I
Bob
will say,
Lovell is.
speaking of the pairing show, that was one of the coolest environments I've ever really been a part of, because when the pairing show had happened on my senior year, and also my junior year as well, at Wheeler we didn't really get together for it.
Okay.
But at Bishop Knoll we got together for it, and
as a team.
As a team it was a lot of fun, and as a coach to see the kids, all together in one spot. Although we didn't really get the draw that we wanted, it was still really cool to have that atmosphere.
55 seconds to go. 1st and 10, ball on the 36. Bonner will get ready for the snap. Now he's got Verrett in motion to the outside. Bonner's going to look for Verrett. He's got him on a wheel route. Verrett's there. He's wide open. Verrett makes the catch, and that's a beautiful catch and throw to Caden Verrett. Ball on the 4-yard line, so we'll give him a gain of 23 on that wheel route. Verrett had all kinds of time as that ball hung up, but he got the reception on the wheel route, so Verrett gets the reception. Now they're inside the Family Express red zone. They're going to hand it to Verrett. Verrett walks in for a countryside realty house call.
Just a great job from Hanover.
Touchdown, Hanover Central. Verrett giving the touchdown from 4 yards out.
How about that pass play, too? Both of them. From the first quarter, Bonner looks to have recovered very nicely from that interception.
So Verrett gets a touchdown. Somehow our scoreboard cleared, Ryan. I have no idea why it did that, but it's 13-0. Here comes the snap, hold, kick on the way up, and it's a left-footed kick, and it's good. Logan Ziltz is in doing the kicking, so Ziltz wasn't listed on the depth chart, but he gets the extra point. It's 14-0 Hanover Central. Let's take a look at that wheel route if we can. We didn't get the touchdown, but let's take a look at the wheel route. See if we can do something here. We'll get the wheel route and for that reception, because that was the key play, was the wheel route reception from Caden Verrett. And here it is on the replay. So take a look at the wheel route here, Ryan. Verrett goes in motion, comes to the outside, and he's got a linebacker on him, and that's always trouble. Ball's in the air, and Verrett just jumps up and high points the ball. Gets that first down out of the 4-yard line. Then Verrett puts it into the end zone. 14-0 is the lead for Hanover Central.
Another quick scoreboard update from Scoreboard Central and our own Fred Maxey as well. North Judson 54, Culver Community 0. And guess what? It's still the second quarter.
What's the score?
54-0.
In the second quarter.
In the second quarter.
Now, North Judson's very, very good.
They are, but I didn't know they were that good.
Well, here's the thing. Think about the misfortune that KV had on that last drive. Mm-hmm. We've got the replay from Bonner. We're going to take a look at that. Bonner was dead to rights way back at the 30-yard line. Somehow he got it, eluded the tacklers, came forward, got a 14-yard reception, and they converted. Should be 7-0 with KV getting the kickoff with 39 seconds to go. And again, it's going to be a little snub kick, and it's just going to be a little snubber on the ground. Here comes Eichmann to the outside, but he's snapped in half. Give the tackle on the play to Desiderio with the tackle. So Eichmann just covers it up. So Eichmann will get the ball. KV will be in 1st and 10 territory on the 25-yard line. 35 seconds to go. And don't forget, KV is going to be on defense to start the second half.
I'd like to see more of Arroyo on that play action, because it looks like they're able to get a little bit of movement on those plays.
Yes, they will. Now let's see what happens with the Cougars with only 35 seconds to go. 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Arroyo holding on to the ball. He's going to air it out. And Eichmann being held. No call, but Eichmann thought he was being held. His jersey was being pulled back, but no call. So 4 minutes and 23 seconds the time on that last drive.
Could have been offensive pass interference as well. It looked like there was a little bit more of a hold there on the back end.
So the key play was that reception to Verrett. It was actually 24 yards to Verrett, so there was actually 10 plays on that drive. 80 yards the time of the drive there, as I learned how to speak again. 28 seconds, clock stop. Cougars are going to try to get downfield. Arroyo jumped. They didn't call it. So Arroyo trying to get out of trouble. He will. Gets it to the outside of Weaver, but he overthrows him. He had Grayley Weaver dead to rights, but couldn't get there. So second pass, and this is a problem, because now should KV just take a knee? Because if they throw one more incompletion, they'll have to punt it away to Hanover Central. With only 21 seconds to go, ball on the 25-yard line, 3rd and 10. Give a shout-out to our guy Fred Maxey at Hanover Central for getting us our scoreboard updates. We'll be giving you those at halftime. And don't forget, because it is homecoming, we're spending a little bit of time. We'll remind Maya Graff, our camera person, that we're going to keep an eye on the homecoming court here at halftime. If she doesn't hear us say it, we'll go up and tell her. So again, receivers to the near side. They'll hand it instead to Castro. Castro with a jump cut inside. He's going to fall forward for another 5, and Hanover Central is going to take that time out.
I mean, they're going to stay aggressive, right? I mean, Kankakee Valley.
Why not go after the punt? You said yourself that there were trouble a couple of times. We're going to take a 30. We come back, we'll see what they do. 16 seconds to go in the first half. KV trailing by 14 on Regional Radio Sports.
We Build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America are men and women building roads and bridges to get Hoosiers where they're going today and a new energy infrastructure that will keep Indiana competitive tomorrow. LIUNA's over 12,000 statewide members also grow local economies, earning good union wages, shopping where they live and work, and paying taxes. We Build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
Back here at Kankakee Valley, only 14 seconds left in the half. Ryan, would you go? I would go for the punt. I would go after it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the special teams unit has played spectacular so far for Hanover. I mean, they were almost able to get to the punt, as you said, before the break. And, I mean, if they were to get to this one, it'd be trouble for Kankakee Valley.
Now, I'm just spitballing here.
Mm-hmm.
What if you put Arroyo back in punt formation and you ran Weaver as just a little out route?
I'd like that.
I wouldn't mind it. 16 seconds to go, 4th and 5. Arroyo back to punt. He's just got to get it off. Hanover looks like they're coming from the left side of the formation. Here comes the snap. Arroyo with the fake, and that's what they called. Arroyo to the outside. He's still running for it. Arroyo, first down Cougars. I called it.
Yep.
I just want to say I called it. Arroyo with the fake punt takes it all the way up to the 40. Give him a gain of 10. And I'm going to capture that replay just because I called it. Arroyo with the fake punt. Thank you, Diego. Arroyo gets the punt. He heard me.
He was like, you know, Coach Gray is telling me right now I should run this ball.
Oh, my goodness. Arroyo was back in punt formation, and he faked it. And they had him dead to rights on the outside, too. But Arroyo listened to Coach Gray and gets the fake punt. So now the Cougars one more time back to pass. Arroyo breaks contain. Arroyo getting to the outside. Oh, he got horse collar. That should be a flag. That absolutely should be a flag.
That's the second time
exactly
the has missed that again. I mean, second right in front of him as well.
So Arroyo gets a gain of, we'll call it 4. They missed it. That's the end of the first half of play, and the fans agree with our call. Missed horse collar wasn't called, and so at the end of one half of play, our score 14-0, Hanover Central. We'll go ahead and take a 2-minute timeout, get ourselves organized, and bring you our extended halftime report. It's homecoming here at Kankakee Valley, and Cougars trail by 14 on Regional Radio Sports.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. Battles are won within. Over enemies of fear. Enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise of battles won.
So we're going to go to Mike Coffrey, who's the voice of the Kankakee Valley Cougars. It's homecoming. Let's meet the homecoming court as our camera person will be taking care of the sights, and Mike Coffrey is going to take care of the sounds.
Avery is the daughter of Ryan and Joanna Myers of Wheatfield. Avery participates in soccer, champions together, and was Rookie of the Year track last season. Escorting Avery this evening is Mr. John Misora. John is the son of Jonathan and Piper Misora of DeMont. He participates in basketball, baseball, and FCA. Our sophomore candidates, Avery Myers and John Misora. Representing the junior class this evening are Miss Addison Brown and Mr. Jeremiah Fitzpatrick. Addison is the daughter of Daniel and Stacy Brown of Lowell. Addison is the president of Sunshine Club, vice president of Interact, secretary of the National Honor Society, founder of Miles for Smiles, and historian of Student Council. Escorting Addison this evening is Mr. Jeremy Fitzpatrick. Jeremy is the son of Jillian and Jeremy Fitzpatrick of Wheatfield. Jeremiah is an honor student that participates in baseball. Juniors Addison Brown and Jeremiah Fitzpatrick. Starting off the senior class this evening are Miss Ava Days and Mr. Donnie Stan. Ava is the daughter of Dave and Kim Days of Vermont. She has participated in volleyball, basketball, track, FCA, champions together, and PBA. She has been a state qualifier in track and field and is currently in the top 5% of her class. After high school, Ava plans to attend college to major in business administration. Ava would like to thank her family, coaches, and all of her best friends. Escorting Ava this evening is Mr. Donnie Stan. Donnie is the son of Julie Finette and Donald and Daniel Stram of DeMont. Donnie has participated in baseball, PBA, champions together, National Honor Society, and currently serving as the JAG president. After high school, Donnie plans to attend college and major in finance. He would like to thank his family and friends and everyone that has shown him support. Seniors Ava Days and Donnie Stan. The next senior candidates are Ms. Kaylin Curtis and Mr. Edward Ritchie. Kaylin is the daughter of Megan and Michael Curtis. Kaylin volunteers at the Wheatfield Library, is the president of the Science Club, vice president of the National Honor Society, president of the Technology Students Association, and co-president of the Interact Club. After high school, she plans to attend college and get a degree in architecture. Kate would like to thank her family, friends, and teachers who have helped her get to where she is today. Escorting Kaylin tonight is Mr. Edward Ritchie. Edward is the son of Christopher and Jenny Ritchie of DeMont. Edward has participated in the National Honor Society, Interact, wrestling, and football. He plans to go to Purdue to become an RN and then later become a nurse anesthesiologist. I would like to thank his mom for her unconditional support and his dad for always pushing him to improve. Seniors, Taylor Curtis and Edward Ritchie. Next are senior candidates, Miss Emma Cochran and Mr. Marco Castro. And there's a daughter of Jordan Williamson and Jeremy Cochran of Wheatfield. And there's an honor roll student that's participating in Interact and Science Club. Emma completed her CNA certification this summer and is currently completing a semester of college as well as finishing high school. After high school, Emma plans to attend IU Bloomington and receive a Bachelor's of Science degree in nursing. Her dream job is to become a labor and delivery and a travel nurse. And would like to thank her friends, family, students, and teachers for all their support. Escorting Emma this evening is Mr. Marco Castro. Marco is the son of Marco and Claudia Castro of Wheatfield. Marco is an honor roll student, has participated in track, baseball, basketball, champions together, united and as one, and is currently serving as a team captain on the football team. After high school, Marco plans to attend college, play football, and study exercise science. Marco would like to thank his parents, family, classmates, and God. Our seniors, Emma Cochran and Marco Castro. Last but certainly not least, our senior candidates, Miss Emily Schoen and Diego Arroyo. Emily's the daughter of Martin and Jennifer Schoen of Venezuela. Emily's a member of the National Honor Society, currently in the top 10% of his class, on the prom committee, Interact Club, and a CNA student. Emily plans to attend college in the fall to pursue a degree in nursing or health science. She would like to thank her family, teachers, and friends. Escorting Emily tonight is Mr. Diego Arroyo. Diego is the son of Dave and Michelle Arroyo of Vermont. He is an honor roll student that participates in track, National Honor Society, Interact Club, and is serving as a captain of the football team. Diego currently is in the top 10% of his class, and after high school, plans to attend college, play football, and study physical therapy. Diego would like to give a special thanks to his mom and his dad for always pushing him to be the best and for their endless support. Seniors, Emily Schoen and Diego Arroyo. And here to crown our Queen and King are our 2023 winners, Ella Carton and Eli Beardo. Both Ella and Eli are currently attending Purdue University. Ella is pursuing a degree in biomedical health science to become a physician's assistant. Eli is pursuing a degree in biology, and he would like to become an ER doctor. And now the moment we've all been waiting for here this evening. Your 2024 homecoming Queen and King are Emma Cochran and Marco Castro.
So Marco Castro, a king on the football field, and now he's the homecoming king as well. We'll go ahead and take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have our halftime statistics and our highlights as well. At the half, Kankakee Valley trailing at home and homecoming night by a score of 14-0 here on Regional Radio Sports.
We develop quality citizens who keep our core, our country, and our communities side by side on the winning side. Not for glory, but for honor. For a code that isn't written or spoken, but lived. It's what we do. It's who we are. It's the battle cry of our fighting spirit. Battles won. See all the battles Marines fight to win at marines.com.
Your ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992. This is the Regional Radio Sports Network at rrsn.com.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Back here at Kankakee Valley High School, the band's on the field. And remember, tomorrow is the 19th annual Kankakee Valley Music Fest. And normally, Ryan, I am one of the voices of the KV Cougars Music Fest, along with, of course, Hayden Myers, who's done it for the last few years. And this year can't do it. I'm doing a little bit of a thing called a wedding. But our halftime highlights are being brought to us by the Hamster Group. For more than 50 years, the Hamster Group has established itself as a leader in the communities, Northwest Indiana and surrounding areas. Whether it be the development of retail shopping centers, commercial offices, agricultural centers, municipal facilities, or a number of other property types, Hamster Builders has the answers to meet the needs of their customers and communities. Hamster Group in Wheatfield. For quality you can build on, call them at 219-956-3111. Look them up on the web at hamstergroup.com. So our first halftime highlight, Ryan, and we take a look. This is Castro. When you see Marco Castro come to the line here, actually I've queued it up a little bit tough there. Castro fighting to the line, got himself a good stop. But here's really the play of the first half for Kankakee Valley, and we take a look at the first half highlights. Take a look at the defensive effort on the outside by Brev Whaley. Whaley with the good coverage to the outside. He fell, but Whaley gets the interception, and KV was in business. And then Marco Castro came to play today. Marco Castro decided it was time to run a little bit. So Castro comes in, and take a look at this highlight run from Marco Castro.
Just a great job of finding that way inside, hitting the hole, and getting that first down.
So Castro gets the nice run there, and the Cougars look like they might be in business. And on fourth down, they decided to go for it, and when they did, they got this first down. Nice run to the outside. Excuse me, that's a pass here, sorry. Again, I'm working blind here. That's a first down pass. It was third down and 14, so that was the pass. But then Caden Verrett took off. Take a look at this run from Caden Verrett.
And he's been on fire all day, too.
Verrett just moving the pile and then busting it to the outside. Cougars can't get a stop. So the Cougars continue to make the run, but Verrett found our first touchdown of the day, and it is our play of the first half, brought to us by the Hamster Group. Take a look at this run from Verrett. 51 yards to the house.
How he broke through this line so easily is something, just a work of art. I could not figure out for the life of me how he was able to do that. Not only that, but beat the DBs in the backfield as well.
So Verrett gets that run, and he gets back into the end zone for the touchdown, which made it 7-0. Now Castro gets a chance to get the Cougars back running, and what Castro did was he converted here on fourth down.
Just a great job as well to keep the momentum going on this drive for the Cougars here.
Cougars had a chance. They were pinned deep in their own territory, but they took a chance, got a gain of 3, and he gets that first down run for Marco Castro. Now, later on in the drive with Hanover Central in that run, Kankakee Valley was in trouble, but take a look at the pass interference. It was an easy call for the offensive or for the outside official to make.
Absolutely.
This is really one of the more controversial plays of the first half, Ryan. I think that the Cougars got a bad spot here. Watch the run from Castro to the outside. He looks like he had the line to gain, but the outside official came a yard back, so the Cougars were pushed back, and they had to go for it on fourth down. And guess what happened? Diego Royal made his best run of the season.
This was impressive. I mean, you go through here, you'll see in this clip right here, he did not have a receiver open. So what does he do? He turns his back, he looks the other direction, finds a blocker, and picks up that first down.
And Arroyo got that first down and put the Cougars deep into their own territory. But unfortunately, Arroyo pressed his luck and went to the outside to Adrian Eichelman, but someone was in the way.
Yeah, he's got to make a little bit better reads. He had a read open in the middle of the field, but, you know, these are things that are going to happen. Growing pains throughout the middle of the season. Hopefully the Cougars will have this corrected by sectional time.
Defensively, the Cougars still playing great. Take a look at Grayley Weaver on defense.
Weaver's been all over the place on offense and on defense as well. He's a heavy hitter, and, I mean, just as hard as he'll hit you on defense, he'll hit you hard on offense as well.
And Weaver's been playing the line, and if you ask him, it's a tough thing for him to do because he's a little undersized, but his quickness works. But take a look at this play. This was the play of the first half for Hanover Central. Bonner was dead to rights. Watch what happens on this bad snap.
Unbelievable effort by Bonner. I mean, he's also had a great corrected first half. I mean, in the first quarter, he had that first interception in that first drive, and ever since then, he's been absolutely on fire.
And they converted it down. They actually got it down to a makeable down and distance. And then they ran a wheel route to Caden Verrett, and this led to a touchdown. Watch this catch from Caden Verrett.
This was absolutely phenomenal. And, I mean, not only that, but Bono was able to put the ball exactly where it needed to be. Look at this throw down deep. I thought that it was going to be for a touchdown, but just a little short.
Another highlight for the Kankakee Valley Cougars, and the only reason I'm showing this is because I called it. It was deep in their own territory. Hanover Central had called a timeout, so 4th down for the Cougars. And what do? They think they're going to punt, but no. Instead, this happens.
And this was smart as well, being able to just take it and run. Now, this is that Arroyo that I was talking about. He's an athlete. He can use his legs. We've seen it more than once today, and I expect to see it more in the second half.
Halftime highlights have been brought to us by the Hamster Group. For more than 50 years, the Hamster Group has established itself as a leader in the communities of Northwest Indiana and surrounding areas, whether it be the development of retail shopping centers, commercial offices, agricultural centers, municipal facilities, or a number of other property types. Hamster Builders has the answers to meet the needs of their customers and communities. Hamster Group in Wheatfield for quality you can build on. Call them at 219-956-3111 or look them up on the web at hamstergroup.com. Band is on the field. They're rocking out to Elton John, and we're rocking out at the half. At the half, Kankakee Valley trails 14-0 on Regional Radio Sports. We'll be back with our halftime stats after these timeouts from Family Express and our friends at Nitco.
Nitco is proud to support athletes around Northwest Indiana. Let Nitco bring you the best in-home Wi-Fi experience ever. Our new Nitco Wi-Fi Plus creates a perfect Wi-Fi experience. It's adaptable. It has a motion detector built in and also has child protection controls, all for just $12.95 per month. Order Nitco Wi-Fi Plus today. Call 219-996-2981 or on the web at nitco.com and be connected. Always at Nitco.
Today's game is being sponsored by Family Express. Your friends at Family Express remind you to download their all-new mobile app. Once inside, you can check your perks balance, find fuel prices for your favorite location, order fabulous food from Craven's to order, even get a car wash subscription to keep the street grime at bay. Join the digital revolution and get the Family Express app today.
Halftime statistics being brought to you by Scott Miller, Realtor. In the market to buy or sell a home in Northwest Indiana, look no further than my man Scott Miller, Realtor. Scott Miller is a 5-star rated broker with numerous awards and accolades, such as top 1% of all teams within Berkshire Hathaway nationally. In addition, Scott Miller is in the top 15% HomeSnap agents nationwide, and he's the recipient of the HomeSnap Excellence in Client Service Award based on his numerous client reviews and is a top producing agent throughout the region. Scott Miller was born and raised in Northwest Indiana as an honest, hard-working agent who believes that communication with his clients is key. Scott enjoys spending time with his family and looks forward to helping your family as well. If you want results, you got to call Scott Miller, Realtor of Berkshire Hathaway HS Executive Realty at 219-263-3039. And don't forget to visit my guy Scott Miller at his website, scottmiller.bhhsexecutive.com for results that move you. If you're in the market to buy, sell, or both, Ryan, you know what time it is. It's
Scott Miller time.
That's exactly right. So our drive began with Kankakee Valley getting the ball on their 30-yard line, but their drive stalled. They had 5 plays and went to their first punt. Hanover Central on the third play of their first drive of the ball game threw an interception to Brev Whaley. KV got the ball back and punted to Hanover Central. And with 5:24 to go in our first quarter of play, the Hanover Central Wildcats went 6 plays at 72 yards, the 51-yard Caden Verrett touchdown with the extra point. The extra point coming from Logan Zills made it 7-0. Next time down, Kankakee Valley had a 16-play, 57-yard drive that took 9 minutes and 27 seconds. But unfortunately, a royal interception in the end zone ended that drive and gave the ball back to Hanover Central on their own 20, 1st and 10. Hanover Central went 10 plays, 80 yards in 4 minutes and 23 seconds. It was another Verrett touchdown, this time from 4 yards out, made it 14-0. Last drive for the Cougars, they got the ball after the kickoff on the 25-yard line with 35 seconds to go. They ran the clock down after 2 interceptions to 16 seconds. A timeout was called by Hanover Central, and Diego Arroyo faked the punt, took it 10 yards on 4th down and 5 to give the Cougars a first down, but that's where the drive stalled, and at the half, 14-0. We have more numbers from our friend Scott Miller at Executive Realty. He's at Berkshire Hathaway nationally.
Yes, we do. Castro on the day a little bit of an underwhelming day compared to normal. I'm hoping that Castro gets a little more involved for the Cougars.
I think he's wearing them down.
I believe so as well. 16 total rushes for only 46 yards. Now, here's the problem. He's had a few rushes for negative yardage. Otherwise, he'd be over 50 yards for sure. And, I mean, just on track of where he normally is. But Arroyo also has 2 rushes for 25 yards. Now, he's really shown out today. I expect him to pick up as well. Hopefully, these reads can kind of get corrected as well. Next up, Eichmann. A couple sweet plays so far today. That first one was for 4 yards. The second one as well for 4 yards. 8 yards on the day. Barrett is tearing up the field today.
Well, you know what? That's not right. I pay taxes here to make this field. Oh, you okay. You're saying Verrett's having a good game.
Yes, Verrett. My apologies for mispronouncing the name. 9 rushes, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. I mean, absolutely phenomenal start to it as well. I would expect the Hanover Central to be able to control the clock a little bit more as well in the second half. As we see Verrett, I mean, tearing up the field, as I mentioned, with 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. And not only that, but Kankakee Valley's doing a good job of controlling the clock, and that's one thing that I expect as well to discontinue. But then we've got Bonner as well, a couple rushes himself, 2 rushes, 13 yards. And then we've got Mayo as well. He's got 2 rushes, 12 yards on the day as well. Going forward, as far as passing numbers, Bonner, I mean, again, doing a phenomenal job at quarterback. I mean, he corrected that first quarter mistake of that interception. He's 4 for 5 on the day, 23 yards and an interception. Arroyo also impressing. I do expect him to continue to impress, but, you know, there are a couple missed opportunities on these drives. He's 3 for 6 so far with a combined total of 30 yards on the day. So, you know, you look at Arroyo, and that's one of the players that has plenty of room for improvement. You know, a couple games ago we were talking about how he was familiar with the Superman play, you know, instead of taking these easy checkdowns. And now today you're seeing him scramble outside of the pocket and hit somebody within the numbers to be able to throw across the middle and pick up the easy yardage and keep these drives going. It's more important for Kankakee Valley to do that. Not only does it keep the clock running for this time of possession that we're seeing, but we're also seeing him continue to move the ball down the field and get in that red zone. Now, if he was able to have that same opportunity in that play call at the end zone, I don't think that they would have turned the ball over. In fact, this game would have been tied up.
Yep.
And I mean, all the momentum would be on Kankakee Valley's side, and I still think that it is. I assume that this defense is going to stand pat and continue to stay strong for Kankakee Valley, and if they do that, this is going to be one heck of a ball game.
Anthony Rubalcaba will find the field for the first time. He's a senior who plays both sports, soccer, and he plays football as well. We saw a game last night where we were over at Wheeler. Wheeler took on Ileana Christian in soccer, and when you think of soccer players that play both sports, you think of kickers. Tyne Vidical was the wide receiver for the Wheeler Bearcats. He's 4th in the area in receiving. He's got 4 touchdowns. He plays defense as well. And, oh, by the way, just for good measure, 6 goals on the soccer team as well. Last night, Ileana Christian got the win. You saw it here on Regional Radio Sports. Caden Verrett back to receive for Hanover Central. Joined back there by number 10, Dylan Bowen. We'll take a look on the far side and see what we have. I think it's number 15, Henry Maurer. So here comes the kickoff from Rubalcaba, second half under the way. They're going to take it to the right side. The ball is live, going towards the end zone. Verrett's going to let it roll into the end zone. It's a touchback. So it's a touchback, so Hanover Central will start 1st and 10 with 12 minutes to go on their own 20-yard line. Again, Hanover Central coming out with their offense led by quarterback Tommy Bonner, who had a great first half. So Bonner leads the Charges out to the field. Again, we will bring you our plays of the game in our post-game report. Tomorrow, Fred Jones Field will host the Music Fest here for Kankakee Valley.
They always have a pretty good band.
They really do. I mean, not that my daughter was part of it, So here comes Bonner. He's got Verrett on his right hip. They'll bring a man in motion. That man in motion is Lehman. Up, and there's an offensive play, and that was Tony Bartolomeo. Rocco trying to get downfield. Rocco says, I want to go now. I want to go fast. He's like Ricky Bobby. He went a little too quick. You have any more Scoreboard Central updates?
Yes, I do, and it's one of them that I hold very dear to my heart.
Is it Wheeler or Rensselaer?
It's Wheeler. They are tied right now in the second quarter with Boone, 14 apiece.
It's going to be a good ball game. It's a PCC game.
That's one that I'm really excited to hear the results of. That's always a fun rivalry to keep track of.
So Bartolomeo now on the slot on the right-hand side. Now they'll throw over that way. Good job by Eichmann to read it. And the ball's loose, and it's on the turf, and KV's recovered it. It looks like it's a Kankakee Valley football. It is! Nice job by Deerdorf to get that recovery. Lehman with the reception, but he got turned over backwards. KV with the big play, and the Cougars are in the Family Express red zone.
Absolutely phenomenal job on defense. Now, this is what I was talking about coming out of the gate for the second half. Kankakee Valley needs to stand pat on this defensive stand.
So the Cougars are in business. Look for the ball to go to Castro. It does. Castro falls forward. The King, we're going to call him the King for the rest of the night.
King Castro.
King That's Castro. Fun. Ball moves up to the 3-yard line. It was first and goal for the Cougars on the 9. They got a gain of 1, so call it 1 gain for Castro. Kankakee Valley getting it on the Hanover 9-yard line. On the fumble, good job, and then we'll have to look at that play from from Kustra. What a great play. So 1 yard to gain. Here come the Cougars in the spread formation. They're going to go to that side to look to get it to Castro. Instead of Arroyo with a stop-and-go move. He gets it down to the 5, give him a gain of 4. Good play by Arroyo to stop and go. It'll be third down Cougars. They've got to put one in the end zone here, Ryan.
They need all of that momentum as well. But not only that, you look at the half, right, and we talked about how Hanover Central got the ball to start the half, and normally somebody would think, oh no, here we go, this is a chance for Hanover to break this game open. But Kankakee Valley came up, smacked him in the face, and this is the time to start a fire here.
Parks is in the slot, joined by Eichmann on the far side. They're going to go to that side with Castro. Castro with that high running style, fighting his way forward in the end zone. It's a Countryside Realty house call. Touchdown, Kankakee Valley Cougars. Countryside Realty, the official realtor of the Kankakee Valley Cougars.
Seemed like it was only a matter of time before we found Castro in the end zone.
Castro gets the touchdown from 6 yards out, 14-6. KV quickly takes advantage of that miscue. Rubalcaba on for the extra point. Give Castro the touchdown, and boy, are we excited.
I mean, look at Hanover Central here. They are shocked.
Oh, and the extra point is blocked.
It's that special team strength of Hanover Central that we were talking about in that first half. That kind of throws a wrench in things, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, now they've got to get, when they get their next touchdown, they're going to have to go for 2. So Castro got the touchdown. Let's take a look at that replay, if we will. Castro with that high running style. And here's that replay brought to us by Scott Miller. Castro gets the handoff, and he just fights his way forward. He was not to be denied. And then on the Rubalcaba extra point, we'll take a look and cue that up for the Rubalcaba extra point. Rubalcaba was set up, and let's take a look at how that was blocked. Snap on the way, placed, and the man just came through and he was not touched. But that leads to a 14-6 ball game, and Ryan, we're in pretty good shape here as KV gets a quick touchdown, 10 minutes and 31 seconds. So once they got that ball back, it only took them 57 seconds and 3 plays. 3 plays, we'll call it 3 plays on that drive. 9 whole yards, but it makes it 14-6. The extra point was blocked.
Something to keep track of as well. According to our own Fred Maxey, a ton of games, quote unquote, have been delayed or canceled in the Indy area. So,
because of bad weather?
Yeah.
Wow. Yep. Okay, thank you, Fred Maxey. We asked for the sports, we get the weather. 10 minutes and 31 seconds to go as Rubalcaba will be back to kick, back to receive, and Twins will be Bowen and Caden Verrett, they'll play it up the elevator shaft. So now it'll be Bowen. Bowen gets the ball at the 15, the 20, the 25. He's to the 30, still on his feet. 35, 40, 45, 50. He's down to the 44-yard line. It looks like he made the tackle instead. Tackle was made for the Cougars by number 51. That's Miles Kitchen. But a huge return. Hanover Central in great position. Hanover Central will start on their own 44-yard line, 1st and 10. Kitchen with the stop. 10:21 to go in our third quarter play. Kankakee Valley back in this ball game. Let's see what they can do defensively. I've been very impressed with the Cougars' defenses. Here comes Bonner leading out the offense. He'll have Verrett on his right hip. Now they'll just hand it. No, they won't. Bonner's got it. They play it out in the flat. Good job by the Cougars. Anderson can't make the tackle. Cougars have got to make a stop. Ed Ritchie cleans with the mess, but Anderson had him dead to rights. Instead, we'll see where they mark it. It gets down to the 41-yard line for Kankakee Valley, so call it a gain of 15. And Anderson had him in the backfield but could not make the stop. So Bonner quickly gets them back to the line. And KV's going to look at this film, and they're going to be real frustrated next week when they see this film. Don't forget, it's going to be a short week for Kankakee Valley.
I am kind of curious to know, and I mean, obviously we won't find out, but if these 2 horse collar penalties were called against Hanover Central, where would this game be?
It would be at Fred Jones Field in Wheatfield.
That's a good response. Yeah, I think so.
I'm sorry, it's a dad joke. I can't help it.
You said I was obvious.
9:56 the time on the clock as Bonner takes a look over to the sideline. Weaver's on the nose right there for Kankakee Valley. I can see Gavin Joy chomping at the bit. Now, Verrett on the left hip. They'll go towards Gavin Joy. Instead, it's an option. Here comes Ed Ritchie down the line, and they've got him dead to rights, but now there's Verrett. And Eichmann, finally, they get a stop, but Verrett gets out of trouble and gets a gain of 3. I don't think Verrett just wants to go down. Give Verrett a gain of 3. He was in the backfield again. So 2nd down, and it'll call it 8. Ball on the 39-yard line, and Hanover Central does not need to rush. They can take their time. What did you think when we talked in the pregame? What did you think about Brian Parker, the head coach of the Hanover Central Wolves? Sounds like a fun guy to play for, doesn't he?
Absolutely, and a very nice guy as well. We appreciate his time.
So Tommy Bonner getting ready to bark out the signals. Bartolomeo, instead there'll be an option handoff inside to Verrett. Verrett gets tackled coming through the middle. Weaver on the stop. Give him another gain of 5. Verrett is getting chunk plays now. A huge reception for Verrett on that wheel route and a 51-yard touchdown run as well for Verrett. 2 touchdowns on the day. 3rd and 6, ball on the 37, 8:42 to go in our third quarter of play. Kankakee Valley back in the game with a score of 14-6. Cougars need to get a stop here. Here comes Bartolomeo in motion again. Now they'll roll to that side. Bonner's got a man. If he wants him, he gets him. And the ball's loose. It was received. They're going to say incomplete.
That's a good call as well. I mean, just a phenomenal play by the DB to be able to kind of chop that arm. It's well instructed, and you would have to think that that's just the culture of Kirk Kennedy settling in Wheatfield, Indiana.
So now it's going to be 4th down and 6. Let's see what Hanover Central does here. A stop will give Kankakee Valley the big mo, not just momentum. It looks like Hanover Central is going to go for it. They're within no punch area, and they're not really close enough for the field goal.
Somebody fixed 15 shoulder pads.
So Maurer comes to the near side. He's got Bartolomeo in the slot. They'll go ahead and straight back to pass. Pass down the field, and there's a wide open man. It's Bartolomeo. He's going to walk in for a Countryside Realty house call. 37-yard touchdown to Rocco Bartolomeo. Another busted coverage on the outside for Kankakee Valley. Bartolomeo gets nothing but the end zone. So now the score remains 20-6 as Bartolomeo gets the easy touchdown. And a Countryside Realty house call.
And Bonner right now, man, his only incompletion being the interception in that first quarter on the first drive. I mean, he's absolutely caught fire.
So a 37-yard touchdown. Bad snap, but a good hold. Zilt's on the way, but it's no good.
That's also huge. I mean, 14-point lead. You're right back there. Kankakee Valley, I mean, a great job to be able to, get that missed PAT. Now you're only 2 scores away. You're right where you were at halftime, except now you have another opportunity to go down and get 7.
So now it's a 56-yard drive for the Hanover Central Wildcats and it took 1 minute and 49 seconds. So 1 minute and 49 seconds to time on the drive. Bartolomeo gets the reception, 37 yards, finds the end zone, and it only took them 6 plays to get that touchdown. And I do believe I do have the replay on that touchdown with the busted coverage. Let's take a look. So on the outside, Bartolomeo in the slot. Verrett stepped up. They rolled to that side, and once he got through, the defensive back fell down. That's the reason. The DB just lost his footing, and that's the reason for the touchdown. Bartolomeo with the TD. Again, you can't blame the defensive back for falling down. So Bartolomeo gets the touchdown from 37 yards.
You see, that was my weakness as a DB as well.
You kept falling down?
I have big feet. I kept tripping over them.
Yeah, okay. Sure you did.
Yeah, ask anybody, that's not the problem. But anyways, we can solve that.
Zils will be putting his hand in the air, and he'll be kicking it short again, I'm sure, and he does. It's just a little squib kick over towards Eichmann. Eichmann trying to pick it up. Ball goes out of bounds. It's going to belong to Kankakee Valley.
Now, I don't know if it was intentional, but that's the correct thing to do. If you can't get a hold of it, try and swipe it out of bounds.
It's a good job, and they'll be in 1st and 10 for Kankakee Valley on their own 24-yard line. They trail 20-6. Cougars deserve a better fate because they've been playing very well defensively. A couple of breakdowns haven't helped them this season. But again, the defensive back lost his footing. Bartolomeo was all alone for a Countryside Realty house call to the corner. Jason Parker coming to the near side. They've got Eichmann on the far side. Castro still doing the work. They'll hand it again to Castro. He gets to the outside. The King comes. He's got his Knights in front of him. Give Castro a gain of, it looks like, almost 5. Yes, it is. It's a gain of 5 for Castro. Last year it was Eli Durdorf was the King. He kept calling him the King. Stopped by the King. Reception by the King. Cougars are trailing by 14, 20-6.
Now, something as well that you have to keep track of is keeping your defense off the field right now. You need them at full strength.
Arroyo gets the snap, hands it to Castro. Castro again with that high running style, fighting his way forward. Castro falls forward for 7 yards into Kankakee Valley. First down. I'm encouraged by what I see from KV, but don't forget, the Cougars have a short week. You don't have to watch Thursday Night Football on Prime because you can see it here with us. I'll be on the road this Thursday night with my good friend Monty Lobb, and we'll be over at Culver Military Academy in the Eagle Field. That is a beautiful stadium. You've been there with me. It was a lot of fun. So Arroyo gets the snap back. He'll hand it to Castro again. Castro's got to be careful. He's carrying the bread, and he's also carrying a defender. Castro fights his way forward for another 13 yards. First down, Cougars.
And all of a sudden, here he comes.
That's what I'm saying. Telling you, man, he is not a happy camper. Or maybe he is happy when he camps. I don't know. But the ball's on the 49-yard line. 6:58 to go in the quarter. Kankakee Valley trying to get a score and stay in this ball game. They trail by 14. They got a touchdown on a turnover, and we do have that play for you. Good job out there by Kustra to force the fumble on a little screen pass. Kustra now in a power position. Guess who they're going to hand it to? It's Castro again. I think he's wearing him down. Give him a gain of 2.
Not a bad idea. I mean, the only way that this could come back and bite Kankakee Valley is if they run out of time.
That's exactly right. That's what I was going to say.
I mean, you're halfway through the third quarter. You're in great shape right now.
Eichmann back into the lineup after being the protocol last week. He's to the near side. Parker in the slot. Look for the Cougars to run away from this formation. Instead, they'll give it to Castro. He falls forward for another 3. And Castro doing a great job. Good stop out there as well from Hanover Central. Give the stop to 95. That's Shane Conlon, one of the twins. Conlon's not a very small man, 6'2", 210 pounds. And you can see he's kind of crouched down. Hanover Central's front line is starting to get worn down a little bit. Bowen on the outside on the linebacking position. Let's see what they do if they run away from this formation. Again, they're going to hand it to Castro. Castro finds the hole, fights his way forward. Again, another 3 yards. So a makeable down and distance on 4th down. It's going to be 4th down. It looks like 2 yards to go. 4th down, and we'll call it 2. That's exactly what it is. All I want to say is I called the fake punt today. That's my highlight of the first half for me. Miles Kitchen leads out the offensive line. Kuster on the left side of that line. They're going to hand it to Castro, see if he can convert it. Castro does and more. Give Castro a gain of 4 and another first down. That's the third time that Kankakee Valley has converted on 4th down, and that's very encouraging for these Cougars.
I mean, he's very efficient in the second half as well. I mean, just in that amount of time, he was able to get 37 yards in just, now hold on, math is hard, 7 rushes.
They told me there would be no math. 4:47 to go in the quarter. We're having a lot of fun here on a Friday night. It's going to get cool next week. Now, Castro's got a bevy of blockers. Castro still on his feet, fights his way forward. Give Castro another 8. So Marco Castro trying to figure it out. Castro, the leading rusher in the region by a wide margin. He came into this game with 850 yards on the ground. He's pushing to get near the 1,000-yard mark in only 5 games.
I love that play call as well. You've been running it inside for majority of this drive. You keep it outside. All of a sudden, you're closer to 6.
So Castro near 140 rushes on the season. They'll hand it to him again. Now they're just going to get behind the blockers. Castro dances inside. He falls forward for another 2. He stops and goes. And you know what? We're all the way up here, Ryan, so these kids don't look as big as they are. You get next to Castro, and he's a force, man.
Absolutely. And, you know, I'm watching Castro, and I'm just begging him at some point, please stop running the ball because I'm running out of space on my paper.
I'm looking at this, all these rushes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rushes on this drive, running out of space on my paper. I'll get you more stat sheets.
I'll just flip it over. We'll save trees.
And now another handoff to Castro. He fights his way forward. He's got enough for another first down. Give him a gain of 4. So Castro is the man, the myth, the legend, and he's the bell cow. He's a whole herd, for goodness sakes.
Now, this is also really good for Kankakee Valley as well because they were able to stop the run at least, I mean, I would say consistently, right? Yes. I mean, I understand Verrett has played a great game, but Kankakee Valley is able to make more stops with the run game than it is against the pass.
Ball on the 29-yard line. Cougars on the move. They're going to go ahead and finally go back to pass. Arroyo's got a man deep. He's got Eichmann. Oh, and it was incomplete. Eichmann had the opportunity. It was on his hands, but he just couldn't bring it in. That would have been a Countryside Realty house call for Eichmann. Nice job by Arroyo to jazz it up a little bit there.
That would have been a massive highlight play for Arroyo as well. I mean, to be able to drop it right over 2 or 3 defensive backs as well. I mean, he was right there.
Can I say also, just for our own purposes, Maya Graff, excellent camera work on that one.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you what, I get a chance to see the play, and she's doing a great job upstairs. Incomplete on that Arroyo pass.
Now we got some laundry on the field.
Okay, let's see what the call is going to be. It's going to be a legal procedure on Kankakee Valley. So that's going to push them back 5. So instead of being 2nd and 10, it's going to be 2nd and 15. Ball will be moved back to the 34-yard line. So far, the Cougars on this drive, they started with 8 minutes left on the clock, so they've spent just a tick under 5 minutes so far on this drive. One thing the offensive staff here has got to be happy about is the length of these drives. It's 2nd and 15, so they'll hand it to Castro again. Castro the outside. This time Conlon sniffed it out. Called a loss of 2. That was Sean Conlon on the stop. Castro didn't know he was coming from behind. They read that like a book. That book only had 4 pages. It was simple. Tackle Marco Castro now. 2:44 to go in this quarter. It's going to be 3rd and 17. Ball back on the 36-yard line. Tackle Marco Castro now.
That was impressive.
4-page book.
You think they have pictures in that book?
And it was Conlon, number 95, running from behind. Castro needed eyes in the back of his head. Instead, the Cougars were long down in distance. They're definitely not in field goal range. So now Arroyo fakes the handoff. Now they flip it forward to Anderson. That's a well-designed play. Anderson still on his feet. Anderson fights his way forward.
Oh, my gosh.
He's only 3 yards short. It was a 13-yard gain.
That was
an amazing. They faked the handoff to Castro, flipped it forward to Anderson. That was an amazing gain, and Anderson has really made his presence known in the last couple of weeks.
That one, as an offensive guru, is what I would call myself, right? That was just a phenomenal play call. And, to be able to pitch it inside like that, props to Arroyo for pitching it to him in traffic as well, but that's something that you would see straight out of the Kansas City offense.
Kankakee Valley 3 for 3 on fourth down conversions. Can they make it 4 for 4? They sure do. Castro fights his way forward. What a great job by Kankakee Valley, and they're into the Family Express red zone. I am very impressed with this offense today. Very impressed.
They've really rebounded very well since that Hobart game. I'm very excited to see this Kankakee Valley team because they've shown that they can bounce back from these tough losses, and they've had 2 of them recently.
First down and 10 for the Cougars on the 15-yard line. This has been their quarter. Clock winding with 1:15. They need a score and a stop. So Arroyo's getting ready to take the snap. He's going to hand it again to Castro. Castro fights his way to the outside. Castro still on his feet. Castro gets bottled up out there. Bowen on the outside with the stop. He was joined outside by Lincoln Zerby. Called a gain of 4, but those are 4 hard-fought yards.
Now you'd think Castro had 2 jobs today, okay? Win a football game.
And become king.
And he has become the homecoming king, and now that he's done that, he's mad that that one mission is still remaining.
Here comes the snap. The King gets it one more time. The King fights his way forward. He's got enough for another first down. He's down to the 5. Let's see where they mark it. It's going to be close. Give him another gain of 4.5. 18th play of the drive. Kankakee Valley, I'll tell you one thing, Ryan. They're running clock. There's no doubt about it. As we come towards the fourth quarter of play, they got this ball with 8 minutes to go in this quarter.
I think that's going to be the quarter as well.
So they're going to let the clock wind down. We're going to catch our breath. And at the end of 3 quarters of play, Kankakee Valley is on the move. And they trail at the end of 3 quarters of play by a score of 20-6. We'll take a quick 60 and be back on Regional Radio Sports with the fourth quarter. KB trying to get the win on Regional Radio Sports.
NITCO is proud to support athletes around Northwest Indiana. Let NITCO bring you the best in-home Wi-Fi experience ever. Our new NITCO Wi-Fi Plus creates a perfect Wi-Fi experience. It's adaptable. It has a motion detector built in and also has child protection controls, all for just $12.95 per month. Order NITCO Wi-Fi Plus today. Call 219-996-2981 or on the web at nitco.com and be connected. Always at NITCO.
Back here at Kankakee Valley, and Ryan and I are trying to get our wits about us, but Ryan, I will say this much, and normally in game action we don't get a chance to talk very much before the Cougars get the ball back. I've been really impressed with the Cougar offense today.
Oh, yeah. The one thing that I was really concerned about when it comes to this Kankakee Valley team, I understand their strategy, right? Obviously, you want to drain as much clock as possible, get that run game going because that's what you're good at, and then hopefully get that stop on defense. The one thing I was concerned about, though, was being able to stop that Hanover team with the pass attack, right?
And they're doing fine.
But at this point, Kankakee Valley's offense is primarily the run, right? And so if you're Hanover, you want to burn as much time as possible, but Kankakee Valley's been able to counter that on defense. They're in a good spot.
So 3rd down and 2, Cougars can get a first down without a touchdown. They're going to hand it to Castro. Castro fights his way forward. They've got a first down, Cougars. Give them a gain of, we'll call it 5. 1st and goal, and they are in the Family Express red zone. 1st and goal from the 1. It'll be a miracle if they don't hand it to Castro right here. Castro needs to get the handoff, or maybe Arroyo sneaks it himself.
I'd take a read option here.
So Castro in the backfield with Arroyo looking for a countryside realty house call as the clock begins. They hand it to Castro, bounces inside. He's in the end zone! No, he's not. They say he's short. Thought he was there.
That's a good call as well. Hanover Central was able to get past the line and be able to attack him behind that end zone line. Just a great job from Hanover to be able to do that and get a stop on 1st and goal.
2nd and goal is the call now. 2nd and goal for the Kankakee Valley Cougars, trying to get a countryside realty house call.
Now, they did get the clock running as well, so do you expect them to take a little bit more of their time? Or?
I want to get them in the end zone and get a stop. Here comes the snap to Arroyo. They're going to hand it to Castro. Castro dances inside, and this time he's in the end zone for a Countryside Realty house call. And the Cougars are back in this ball game, Ryan. I'm telling you what, KV is not going away. Touchdown for Castro. Castro gets the touchdown, 1 yard out. 2 for the day for Castro, 2 for Verrett. So the two All-State candidates going back and forth. Rubalcaba is going to give way on the extra point. This time for the Cougars, it's going to be number 9, Trevor Poplowski. Poplowski will now be on to attempt the extra point as Rubalcaba missed the last one. So Poplowski is in single safety back there. Here comes the snap to Dierdorf. Bad snap, but Poplowski on the way. Kick up, and the kick is good. So we're in a one-score ball game. Kankakee Valley gets the Countryside Realty house call and the Poplowski extra point. 13 points for the Kankakee Valley Cougars. They trail by 7 on Regional Radio Sports.
For more than 50 years, the Hamster Group has established itself as a leader in the communities of Northwest Indiana and surrounding areas, whether it be the development of retail shopping centers, commercial offices, agricultural centers, municipal facilities, or a number of other property types. Hamster Builders has the answers to meet the needs of their customers and communities. Hamster Group in Wheatfield, for quality you can build on. Call 219-956-3111 or look them up on the web at hamstergroup.com.
And don't forget, at the end of the ball game, we'll tell you who's hot from Cruiswick Plumbing. Cruiswick Plumbing and Heating. And right now, Ryan, if we want to ask very quickly, who's hot from Cruiswick Plumbing and Heating? Who would we say is hot right now for Kankakee Valley? Would it be Marco Castro? Maybe Diego Royal, but for Caden Verrett, we know he's who's hot. Brought to us by Cruiswick Plumbing and Heating. You can find them at cruiswickplumbingheating.com. Their phone number, 219-552-8922 for Cruiswick Plumbing. They'll tell you who's hot, and they'll keep you cool. So Rubalcaba will come up for the kickoff for Kankakee Valley. Again, Verrett back in the back. See what number he's joined by. Rocco Bartolomeo. 20-13 KV back in this ball game. Now Rubalcaba with a nice little end over end kick to Verrett. Verrett will get it at the 2. He's up to the 10, 15, 20. Verrett to the outside, still on his feet. Now Verrett with a dance to the outside. Verrett still gets out of bounds. Verrett with a nice return, call it 26 yards. So Verrett gets it all the way up to the 29-yard line. Hanover Central, that's where they'll start. KV on that drive, Ryan. I'm going to count it out. They went 76 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 19 plays. And the time on the clock.
They burned majority of the third quarter.
6 minutes and 43 seconds of time on the clock.
Wow.
So Hanover Central starts with the ball on their 27-yard line. 10:43 to go in our fourth quarter play. We're in a ball game. KV's got to get a stop. Instead, Bonner will fake the handoff. Here comes Sampson. Sampson had him dead to rights and lost him. Now they throw the ball down and short, and Verrett made the catch. Sampson had him, and he missed him. He was there, and Brady Sampson had him in his sights. And I'll tell you what, Bonner has played very well tonight.
Yes, he has.
He's been elusive. Is that the word? I broke out my thesaurus. He's cagey. He's squirming. He's elusive. He's like a water bug out there. If any water bugs are listening, I don't mean to offend.
He's taking notes from former Bears, current Steelers quarterback Fields when it comes to his elusiveness.
So again, Bonner has a receiver coming to the near side. They're going to run it as a little jet sweep, and they do. That was Verrett. Verrett gets a gain of 5. Call it a completed pass because he flipped it forward. That's exactly what Diego Arroyo did last year with Lane Zander. Shout out to the Zander family, big supporters of KV football. 3rd down and 2, and there's a player down, and it looks like it's an injury on the field. Training staff will come out. We'll take a timeout as well. 9:41 to go in this ball game. KV on the move. They're trying to get back into it. 20-13 our score on Regional Radio Sports.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
CI Insurance is a proud corporate sponsor of all KV athletics. Please visit their offices in DeMont, Rensselaer, and Lowell. They have been family-owned and operated in part of our community since 1953. Check them out online at ciinsurance.com.
The 2024 Indiana Football Digest puts a ball in the 2023 campaign with recaps of all 6 state championship games. Among the 400 pages are previews and photos for all of the Indiana high schools and colleges playing football this coming fall, along with breaking down the top teams and players to watch in 2024. It also has special features and human interest stories. The Indiana Football Digest is available online at indianafootballdigest.com.
Back here at Kankakee Valley, Ian Padilla comes off the field under his own power. That's good to see. So Hanover Central will have 3rd down and 2 yards to go. Ball resting on the 35-yard line as the clock gets restarted.
You'd think a stop here would be huge.
It would be huge because they've got Caden Verrett in motion. Now they fake the handoff, and they get the stop they want. Give that stop to Grayley Weaver. It's a loss of 2, and Hanover Central is going to have to punt.
Unbelievable, and that's exactly what
you called one.
Hey, we're doing good today.
We're 2 for 2.
We got Coach Clay and Coach Matthews in the box.
Yeah, we're not getting hired anywhere. 4th down and 3. Remember that the Cougars faked the punt here. You've got Verrett back to punt. His first time tonight. Adrian Eichmann back to receive for Kankakee Valley. He's parked at the 36-yard line. The stop you wanted is the stop you got. Let's see what Verrett does here on the punt. Now they've got a man in motion. Snap back to Verrett. Verrett will snap it away, and it's a good kick. And he got all of it, and he drives it back inside the 10. It's still rolling. The ball will be stopped down at the 8. Call it the 8-yard line. What a great punt from Verrett. So give him total on that punt down to the 8-yard line, which is 42 plus 16. Give him a 58-yard punt from Verrett.
I would have liked to be in that halftime locker room of the Kankakee Valley Cougars because whatever happened, whether they found Mike's secret stuff or what, but this team is coming out playing hard, and I mean, it's respectable. This is a fun second half for Kankakee Valley
Kankakee
football.
Valley's 1st and 10 on their own 8-yard line. Cougars have got 8 minutes and 35 seconds, which is normally a lot of time, but right now, remember, they've been slow and methodical. They've been running with Castro. Arroyo now back in the backfield. Jason Parker in the slot, joined out there by Adrian Eichmann. Line down. They've done better in the second half. They'll hand it to Castro. Castro again finds his way forward. He's pushing the pile. Give Castro a gain of 5. And he's earning every little bit of ground that he gets. The ball moved up to the 13-yard line. Call it 2nd and 5 on to 13 and a half. Parks is bringing in the play from the sideline. Austin Parks started last week for Eichmann. Eichmann's had a few opportunities in the end zone. He'll go far to the left. Parks here to the near side. And again, Castro doing a great job running in the second half. They're stacking the box. They'll hand it to Castro again. With a little jump cut, Castro on his feet. He didn't get anything that time. Call it no gain. And you can see Hanover cheating up on that one, Ryan. Remember, KV has all 3 of their timeouts. Time becoming a factor with 7:47 to go in this ball game. I do not think this is the Cougar team that Hanover Central expected, but I will say that their coach said that a Kirk Kennedy team plays hard, and he plays aggressively too.
Definitely a great start.
So another handoff almost up in the air, but Castro with a bevy of blockers out there. He falls forward, give Castro a gain of 3.
Ooh, now this puts you in a tough spot, right?
Well, I think you're in between. You got to hand it to Castro. You just hand it up, 4th down.
4th down.
And the Cougars are going to have to punt. That's my fault for not paying attention to down and distance. I was looking at a text message that came through. That's my fault. So now Castro back to punt. Don't forget he's faked one already today. Bartolomeo parked at the 50-yard line. Castro's a decent punter. He's turned a couple over tonight. Clock becoming a factor with 6:48. It's running. Play clock down to 10. Cougars are going to have to get another stop, almost a high snap now. A beautiful kick from Castro. He turned it over. It's got a little bit of backspin. Wish my 9-iron would kick up like that. Miles Kitchen gets the downs the punt, but they're in Kankakee Valley territory. So Hanover Central already on the other side of the line. They'll be on the Kankakee Valley 45. 6:34 to go in our ball game. KV's played very well today. And Ryan, if you're a KV fan, you've got to be really impressed with the way that the Cougars have played this ball game and including the second half.
Absolutely, and I mean, if you're looking at the remainder of the football schedule for Kankakee Valley, this is probably, I would argue, their toughest.
I was going to say that
remaining opponent on there. So I mean, they could end the season with a 4-game win streak.
Bonner's barking out the signals now. It'll be Caden Verrett with a little flip to the outside. Verrett's got blockers as well. Verrett gets taken down by Weaver and Ed Ritchie. But again, Verrett works hard to get 4 yards. So Verrett gets the ball down to the 40-yard line. Give him a gain of 4. Ritchie and Weaver on the stop. 6:16 left in the ball game. Ball sitting on the 40-yard line. They started on the 44. So we'll call it 2nd down and 5. Maybe make it 6. It will be 2nd and 6 on the 40-yard line. They've got to get to the 39 for a first down. They'll run power formation to this side as Bonner moves them. And they've also got the ball to hand to Caden Verrett. Verrett with a stop-and-go move. Now Verrett in the secondary. He's gone. Brev Whaley can't catch him. He won't. It's a Countryside Realty house call. 40 yards to the house for Caden Verrett. He stopped, he left, and it was a touchdown from 40 yards out. 40 yards touchdown for Verrett, his 3rd of the day. Verrett finds the end zone for a Countryside Realty house call and extends that lead back to 14 with the extra point pending.
Now, huge upset alert here. Lafayette Central Catholic beat West Lafayette 12-7.
Wow, that is huge. Zill's on for the extra point. So here comes the hold, the snap, the kick on the way. It's up, and it's through the right upright. It's good. So 27-13, and it's been the Caden Verrett show. And I'm pretty sure, Ryan, that I've got that touchdown. Let's take a look at the replay. Man in motion. Now watch what they do with Verrett here. Verrett's going to get the handoff. He just stops and goes. And once he gets in the secondary, he's gone. Brev Whaley wasn't catching him. There wasn't anybody that was catching him. Caden Verrett finds the house call for the touchdown. Caden Verrett with the TD. He extends that lead and makes it 27-13. Again, a replay is brought to us by the Hamster Group. Nice job by Verrett to find the end zone for his 3rd touchdown of the day. Verrett made it on the 2nd play of that drive. So 2 plays on the drive. It was a total of 44 yards. Didn't take very much time at all. As a matter of fact, it only took 57, call it 55 seconds for Verrett. His 3rd touchdown with the extra point makes it again a 14-point lead. But again, you've got to give Kankakee Valley an opportunity here.
I would say, I mean, do you rely a little bit more on the passing game this time around for Kankakee Valley?
I don't think so.
No?
No, I think you got something to prove here. I think Arroyo does a fine job. Arroyo's done a great job of reading the defense today. As Zills now comes up, you expect him to squib it into the ground.
I would assume a little bit more of a balanced attack here coming out of the gate.
There he does. He squibs into the ground. The up man gets it. It's Brev Whaley. Whaley goes between his legs like Michael Jordan. He lost the ball, then he got it back. Whaley got the ball at the 35, brings it all the way up to the 41-yard line. That's where Kankakee Valley will start 1st and 10.
They at least have good field position. I mean, and holy cow, I just saw another scoreboard update.
Give it to me.
Crown Point 52, Portage 7 in the 4th.
Oh, that hurts my heart. Roy Richards is a friend of mine, but boy, you sure love that Crown Point team. A lot of people have picked them to go downstate again. They're better this year than they were last year.
Absolutely.
They've got a powerful offense and a great defense, and they've got a coach who knows what he's doing. Here come the Cougars with 5:33 to go. Again, you called for the balance attack. They've got it. Arroyo's got a man. He's got Eichmann. Eichmann at the 20. He's all the way down to the 15. Good call on your part. It's a first down, and they're in the Family Express red zone on the reception from Eichmann. Give Eichmann another 44 yards on the reception.
And now this is when you start your rushing attack.
So Eichmann gets the reception to get down to the 14-yard line. 36 plus 9 means 44 yards. And here comes Castro on the right hip of Arroyo. Almost a bad snap. Arroyo has to sneak outside. He can't get there. That was a bad snap. That was not the design of the play. Arroyo's lucky to only lose 2. They were looking to hand the ball to Castro. Snap was too high. So it becomes second down and 12 yards on the 16-yard line. They can get a first down without a touchdown. They can get it down inside the 5. Cougars have been strong down here now. Second and 13. Ball on the 17-yard line. 4:48 to go as Arroyo again barks out the signals. He'll hand it this time to Castro. No, he won't. Arroyo gets rid of it, gets into the flat. They were looking outside, and that should be interference, but it wasn't. They looked like they were trying to get it to Kustra. Jason Parker was out there as well. Bartolomeo was on the coverage on Parker. Looks like Bartolomeo took him out at the ankles, but it's incomplete. The clock will be stopped with third down and 13. Cougars cannot afford a field goal here. They've got to get a touchdown, and then they've got to get a stop. They trail by 14, 27-13 to Hanover Central.
And I think he had Austin Parks at the O in the end zone. I definitely think that he had an opportunity to put it there. I just don't think he was in sight.
So here comes the snap back to Arroyo. Another pass. Arroyo's got time. He's got a man. He goes to Anderson. Incomplete. Anderson was wrapped up in there on defense. Looks like Dylan Bowen with the stop on the defensive play there. So it's going to be fourth down for the Cougars, and they're in four-down territory as another incompletion. They got a 44-yard reception. Field goal doesn't do them any good with only 4:31 to go in the ball game. And they need a touchdown and a stop. Extra points have been important as well. Ryan Matthews having a discussion with Joe Wagner down on the field, and you take a look. It's the brain trust of the Kankakee Valley sideline. Now Arroyo out to pass. He gets outside of it. He throws it up for grabs in the end zone, and it was in and out of the hands. It was in the end zone for a touchdown, and it was incomplete. It was in the hands of Adrian Eichmann. He had it, and he lost it. Cougars turn it over on downs.
Oh, and you would hate that to be the nail in the coffin here. Let's hope for a 3-and-out here for the Hanover Central Wildcats if you're Kankakee Valley.
Man, the ball was in his hands. It was there. Somehow the defensive backs fell down. Take a look at the replay. Arroyo back to pass. The defensive backs ran into each other, and he lost his footing. There it was. It was right in his hands.
And if you look, too, you had that tight end on the out route as well. It looked like if he could have hit that on the outside, that would have been a house call as well.
But Eichmann doesn't make the catch. Adrian, glad to see him back. Handoff inside as the clock switches. So Hanover Central gets it with 4:14 to go. So we took a look at that replay.
Just 1 yard gained there from
Verrett gets a 1 yard gain. So the ball now on the 18-yard line as I learn about math again.
Like I said, man, it's hard. Don't,
Yeah.
It's all right. Ask my parents. It wasn't my strong suit.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. A strong suit was made of armor. Exactly. So, again, Hanover Central taking their time, 3:43. They'll hand it inside. And instead, it's going to be Bonner. Bonner's going to keep it. He stops. He goes. He's finally taken down by Brev Whaley, but it's another huge gain. Ball all the way up to the 36-yard line. Call it a gain of 18 on that handoff. Fake handoff to Bonner. Bonner faked the handoff to Verrett. Ball's now on the 37, so call it a gain of 19. So 19 yards on the pickup for Bonner. And these chunk plays are going to come back to hurt the Cougars. But, again, you cannot fault the effort of the Kankakee Valley Cougars tonight.
Now, a lot of these things that the Cougars are going to go back and watch film on, very correctable. And they've got a nice end of the schedule as well.
Yeah, but they've got a short week, too. And now it's going to be Bonner on the outside again. He fakes it, and he does leave him uncovered. Bonner in the secondary. Bonner still on his feet. Bonner fights his way down to the 33-yard line. So Bonner gets a gain of, let's call it, 30 yards. He gets down to the 32. 31 yards on that gain for Bonner. Bonner fights his way in the secondary. I think the Cougars are running out of gas. 1st and 10. Ball on the 32-yard line. Clock still winding at 2:46. People are going to look at this score and think that KV didn't play well, and that is not the case. Cougars played well all day long. Some bad breaks for the Cougars. They'll hand off inside to Verrett. Verrett in the secondary. He's gone. Give it 10, 5, touchdown. It's a Countryside Realty house call. That was too easy. 33 yards for Caden Verrett, and he showed his speed right there. Verrett with another touchdown, his 4th of the day. Verrett made that too easy.
Just a great job from Hanover to be able to call that option and really create a misdirection there on the defensive end for Kankakee Valley. Now, this really throws a wrench in the scoreboard, and, you know, if you're looking at the box score, you're not seeing the full story of this game, as you mentioned.
So Verrett gets a touchdown. Zill's on for the extra point, bad snap, but Zills makes it work with the extra point. It's good. And 21 points is the deficit for Kankakee Valley. And like you said, Ryan, the Cougars deserve a better fate today because they played well. Call it 1 minute and 37 seconds. 33-yard touchdown for Verrett. So 31 and 33 yards. 83 yards on that drive, and it was too easy. It only took 1, 2, 3, 4 plays to go 83 yards. Tapped off by a Verrett touchdown. Verrett gets the house call. 34-13 is our score. Again, people are going to see this score and think that Kankakee Valley did not play well. They have played well all day long. Big plays were the downfall of the Cougars. We'll take one more look at that Verrett touchdown. Ryan, take a look at how easy this was coming through the line. Makes the run, snap on the way, and Verrett just hesitated in the hole, and then boom, he was gone. Once he got in the secondary, there was no one stopping him. KV couldn't make the stop as well. Touchdown means it's another Countryside Realty house call for Caden Verrett. He's had a big day today.
He has. I mean, right now for Verrett, he's got 15 rushes for 133 yards.
And 4 touchdowns.
Unbelievable.
4 touchdowns on the day for Verrett. 4 or 5?
4 of them.
4 of them. Here comes the kick, expected in the ground. No, it's a short one in the air. So now it's going to be taken by Eichmann. Eichmann gets to the outside, falls forward to the 32-yard line. So Eichmann gets the ball at the 32-yard line for KV, their last gasp. So they get it on their own 32 with 2:23 to go in this ball game. Let's see what the Cougars can do. They scored with the clock running out last game.
Chesterton 14, Valpo 12 with 1:48 left.
Wow.
Apparently a 2-point conversion is pending.
For Valpo.
For Valpo.
Of course. Had a chance to talk to Coach Bill Marshall this week as Arroyo's got all kinds of time. He's going to try to break contain. He does. Now he gets rid of it. He's got a man downfield, and it's incomplete. He was intending for Eichmann on the outside. How he threw it against his body like that, I have no idea. Ball went across the grain to Eichmann. It's incomplete. Clock is stopped. Good coverage on the outside by Bartolomeo for Hanover Central. 2nd down and 10 ball on the 32-yard line. Don't forget, we'll have our post-game report. We're bringing you a few post-game highlights and give you some stats and get out of Dodge. Remember, it is homecoming. Got a chance to see the homecoming court at halftime. Congratulations to Marco Castro. We'll call him the king. So another pass back for Arroyo. Arroyo's got a man in the flat. There he comes. To the outside to Anderson. Anderson, and that was helmet-to-helmet contact. Good stop out there by number 6, Jacob Furgo. Furgo made the stop, call it a gain of 8. Clock continues to move. So Anderson gets the reception. Cougars have got to get going because the clock's at 1:51. Here comes the Cougars offense. This bodes well for the second half of their season, though, Ryan. Now another handoff inside, a gain of 5 for the Cougars.
Truly unfortunate what happened to the Cougars today. I mean, this was a fun ball game all the way through.
So receivers to the near side, it's going to be Weaver and Eichmann. Arroyo getting ready for the snap with 1:24 to go. Now Arroyo back to pass. He gets out of contain, and oh my goodness, shot out of a cannon. Arroyo's still up. Arroyo's got to get rid of the ball. He does. Good job by Arroyo to beat that rush. Arroyo should have been tackled in the backfield, and it was a great effort from Jacob Hilland. Hilland had him, just couldn't get him.
Very good effort from Arroyo to be able to escape that as well, because he was in all sorts of trouble there.
He was dead to rights in the backfield. Hilland had him. He had him dead to rights. You take a look, Hilland looked like he was shot out of a cannon. Instead, Arroyo came back towards the player, and finally he got rid of it. Good job by Arroyo to get rid of that. Cougars back to the line. 1:12 to go in our second half of play. Now Arroyo again fakes the handoff. Good job by Gavin Joy to give him protection. Now Arroyo goes deep. He's got Eichmann. Eichmann gets tied up, and they're going to say no foul. Excellent coverage by Jacob Furgo out there. So Furco with the coverage. Incomplete pass for Arroyo. 3rd down and 10 for the Cougars. Clock stopped with 1:04 ball on the 45-yard line. KV needs a little bit more than this. They need 21 points here in a minute. It's going to be tough to do. Graylee Weaver looking to the sideline, and he'll come into the huddle. So Arroyo gets the ball back. Now he's going to get the snap. They haven't handed the ball to Castro. This is weird in about 5 plays. Castro trying to block. Arroyo's got a man outside. It's Weaver. Weaver gets the reception and fights his way to the outside for a first down. Good job by Weaver to get the reception all the way down to the 37-yard line. Give him a gain of 12 on that for Weaver. That play will work.
That was, yeah.
That play will work.
Very good. Now this is, at this point, you're looking for things to grow on, right? And I mean, the more variety that you have in your offense, and, you know, Kankakee Valley normally a run offense, you're seeing them incorporate more passing in their offense this year, and it's been a lot of fun to see.
57 seconds to go as Arroyo back to snap again. Now Arroyo has got contained. He's got to get rid of it. He does. Arroyo into the end zone. He's got a man. It's a touchdown. And a Kankakee Valley find the end zone. 37 yards out to Jason Parker. It's a Countryside Realty house call. 37 yards to Jason Parker. So Parker gets the touchdown from Arroyo against his body. Good job by Arroyo for the Parker touchdown. 37 yards out for the Countryside Realty house call.
Now that's the second time in 2 weeks that we've seen Arroyo make a very difficult play, throwing cross-body to the opposite side. I mean, it's an unnatural throwing motion, but he can get it where it needs to be.
So 34-19 with the extra point pending. Snap, hold, kick on the way up, and it's good. We're going to stay right here. Give the extra point to number 9 is Trevor Poplowski. So 34-20 now our score. Poplowski with the extra point. 37 yards on the reception. So KV went 68 yards. It only took them 6 plays. Total time, 1 minute and 35 seconds. So 1:35 the time on that drive. Jason Parker with the reception from 37 yards out. And Ryan, I do believe I may have that as one of our replays. Here it is. So take a look. You said it. He goes to the outside. He breaks contain, runs against the grain, and just airs it out to his left. Parker behind the defense got it in the end zone for a Countryside Realty house call.
Just a great job from Arroyo there. And I have another scoreboard update as we were awaiting the conversion.
Was it good?
It was good.
14 all.
14 all with 1:48 left. Chesterton Valpo. Very close game there.
That game on Regional Radio Sports, I do believe. Paul Condry on the call. Chesterton Trojans are a much improved ball club, and I won't tell you that I saw the Valparaiso Vikings on Thursday night. Got a chance to talk to Coach Marshall for a second, and
he's a great guy.
He's a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a man who should be and will be eventually coaching in college. The way he runs his program is amazing. So 48 seconds to go. KV will be receiving this kickoff. And it's going to be an onside kick. And here it comes. And it's bounding. It's loose. The ball is loose, but Hanover Central gets on it. That was perfect, but KV had nobody home. Instead, Hanover Central falls on the ball on their own 49-yard line, and they'll be able to run out the clock now. Good job by Rubo Cabo with the onside kick.
Great job altogether from the Kankakee Valley Cougars today. I mean, they were able to keep up with this Hanover team for a majority of it. I believe, at this point it just came down to, they started to get a little fatigued in that fourth quarter, I believe. But not only that pass defense might need a little bit more work for Kankakee Valley going forward as it looked to struggle against Hanover. They were able to kind of execute on Kankakee Valley's weakness this game, and now we're looking at a victory formation out of Hanover.
Hanover Central is going to improve their record to 4-1, while KV is going to fall to 2-3. Hanover Central will now be 3-0 in the NCC, while Kankakee Valley's record will drop to 0-3 in conference. And I think the Cougars deserved a better fate. There were some mistakes made today that the Cougars made, and they'll look back on it. But there were some positives for sure for Kankakee Valley. They played well this evening, Ryan. I can't fault the effort from the KV Cougars tonight. It's like a timeout on the field. Nope, the clock's going to run. These two teams are going to line up, and that's going to be our final score. So our final score is going to be Kankakee Valley falling at home tonight, 34-20. With the win, Hanover Central is 4-1 and 3-0 in the NCC, while Kankakee Valley is now 2-3, and they're 0-3 in conference. Take a 2-minute video timeout. When we come back, we'll have some highlights of the second half. We'll give you some stats, and we'll get out of Dodge. Kankakee Valley falls to 2-3 on the strength of a 34-20 loss to Hanover Central. And you saw it and heard it here on Regional Radio Sports.
This is the end of a Horizon Bank commercial. Why show the end of our commercial at the beginning of our commercial? We think you'll find Horizon does a lot of things differently than other banks. Horizon Bank. Get a conversation started.
Jeff loves his coffee, raised in the region and values great quality for a great price. Jeff knows Family Express carefully sources its espresso beans from around the world, giving him a high-quality drink that won't bust his wallet. Fresh milk lattes, all-natural flavorings, a perfect cup every time. Family Express, quality espresso made for you.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Back here at Kankakee Valley, we're coming back, as I just said, and we're going to bring you our post-game highlights. Our post-game highlights being brought to us by our friends at Property Management Inc. Did you know that PMI NWI is the highest-rated property management company in Northwest Indiana? Whether you own one property or multiple, they're here to make your life easier. No contracts required. Let Property Management Inc. handle the headaches while you enjoy your investment. Visit their website, PMINWI.com, or call them at 219-318-1244. And let's see how they can help you get the most out of your property. And don't forget to check out their Google reviews, their website, PMINWI.com. Well, Ryan, I got to tell you, in the second half, Cougars had all kinds of opportunities. There was a breakdown in coverage. Rocco Bartolomeo got a touchdown from 37 yards out, and this was an opportunity where KV the defensive back slipped and fell. You take a look on the coverage, he fell. Bartolomeo found the back of the end zone, and that was really where the Cougars started to run into trouble. But as we take a look down in the second half, we also had a touchdown from Castro in the second half as well. Castro touchdown. He played well all night. Marco played good. We take a look as well. One of the big plays of the second half was this reception to Anderson. If you take a look along down in distance, they flipped it in the front. Anderson fights his way through the defense, and he keeps fighting his way forward. Put the Cougars in 4-down territory, which tonight the Cougars were 4 for 4 on 4th down conversions. Adrian Eichmann had a big day again. Welcome back, Adrian Eichmann. And again, Diego Arroyo had a good day all the way around, but Adrian Eichmann played very well inside. You take a look at this run to the outside. They couldn't keep up. That's actually Verrett. Verrett with the touchdown, his third of the night. Verrett with the stop. He got to the end zone, third of the night. They took a look inside, and Verrett got his 4th touchdown of the night. We take a look at that as well. Verrett on this touchdown, Ryan, we talked about it. He stopped in the hole, just took a look, and then bam, he was gone. When he got to the outside, there wasn't anybody stopping him. 4 touchdowns on the night for Caden Verrett. Final touchdown of the night was a Countryside Realty house call, and it went to Jason Parker. Take a look at this effort from Diego Arroyo, who goes to the opposite side, throws across his body, and in the back, Jason Parker gets there. He gets the touchdown and the Countryside Realty house call. It all adds up to a 34-20 score. If you're looking to lead with purpose, Rooted Influence by Ryan Lutz is a game changer you've been waiting for. Dive into the gripping story of a football coach determined to prove his doubters wrong and a former quarterback struggling to reclaim his life. Together they discover the true essence of leadership. Rooted Influence, a journey of resilience, redemption, and finding the root of lasting leadership. Whether you're on the field or off, this book will inspire you to lead with impact. Get your copy today, available on Amazon, or you can go to RyanSpencerLutz.com for more. Take our final 2-minute audio timeout. When we come back, we'll give you our final game statistics. We'll let you know who our players of the game are, and we'll put a bow on a big win for Hanover Central. They came to Fred Jones Field, and they left victorious on homecoming night. The final score, 34-20, and you heard it here on Regional Radio Sports.
NITCO is proud to support athletes around Northwest Indiana. Let NITCO bring you the best in-home Wi-Fi experience ever. Our new NITCO Wi-Fi Plus creates a perfect Wi-Fi experience. It's adaptable. It has a motion detector built in and also has child protection controls, all for just $12.95 per month. Order NITCO Wi-Fi Plus today. Call 219-996-2981 or on the web at nitco.com and be connected. Always at NITCO.
We build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America builds and maintains roads, bridges, and other essential infrastructure that make us the crossroads of America. So thanks to LIUNA members' work, Hoosiers have a better quality of life, like access to utilities, easier routes to jobs, schools, or medical care, and deliveries keep moving. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
Looking to lead with purpose? Rooted Influence by Ryan Lutz is the game changer you've been waiting for. Dive into the gripping story of a football coach determined to prove his doubters wrong and a former quarterback struggling to reclaim his life. Together they discover the true essence of leadership. Rooted Influence, a journey of resilience, redemption, and finding the root of lasting leadership. Whether you're on the field or off, this book will inspire you to lead with impact. Get your copy today. Available on Amazon, or go to RyanSpencerLutz.com for more.
Back here at Kankakee Valley, before we bring you our final game statistics and our players of the game brought to us by Property Management, Inc., we'll remind you that Indiana High School football has been presented by the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with Laborers District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LIUNA, First Trust Credit Union, Hamster Group, State Farm Insurance, the United States Marine Corps, and the Semper Fi Fund, Ivy Tech Lake County, Horizon Bank, CI Insurance, NITCO, Family Express, Property Management, Inc. Game sponsors including Cruisewick Plumbing, Cubit Networks, Countryside Realty and the Countryside Realty House Call, Toppin Inc., the 2024 Indiana Football Digest, Realtor Scott Miller of Pursue Realty Group in Berkshire Hathaway. He's a 5-star broker at listed by with scottmiller.com. And Rooted Influence. You can find it on Amazon or RyanSpencerLutz.com. Ryan, you've got some statistics for us brought to us by our friends at Property Management, Inc. Did you know that PMI NWI is the highest rated property management company in Northwest Indiana? Whether you own one property or multiple, they're here to make your life easier. No contracts required. Let Property Management, Inc. handle your headaches while you enjoy your investment. Visit them at PMINWI.com or call them at 219-318-1244 and let them see how they can help you get the most out of your properties. And don't forget to check out their Google reviews, the website, PMINWI.com. What do you got?
So Castro finished the day with 32 rushes, an unofficial 145 yards. I got to say unofficial now because I was a little off last time we did
yes,
this.
You were.
2 touchdowns as well. Arroyo, 3 rushes, 23 yards. Anderson with 1 rush, an impressive 13 yards. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Eichmann with 2 rushes on a sweep, 8 yards on those. And then likely, I don't know, throwing a random guess out there, but Verrett's probably going to be our player.
Caden Verrett, you think so?
Verrett, yeah. 15 rushes, 133 yards, and 4 touchdowns on the day for him. We had Bonner, 5 rushes, 31 yards, and then Bartolomeo, 2 rushes, 12 yards on the day. And then our quarterback stats as well. Bonner, 8 for 9, 117 yards, a touchdown and an interception. And then Arroyo, 7 for 14, 131 yards, touchdown and an interception as well.
So the final piece of business is to bring us our players of the game. Those players of the game brought to us by Property Management, Inc., Northwest Indiana, the highest-rated property management company in Northwest Indiana. Their website, PMINWI.com. For the Kankakee Valley Cougars, their record drops to 2-3. They're now 0-3 in the NCC. There's been a few candidates this day for player of the game. Welcome back, Adrian Eichmann. He played well. Grayley Weaver played well on defense. Mm-hmm. Arroyo and Castro played good. You got to make a decision. Who's our player of the game brought to us by Property Management, Inc.?
I'm going to say Marco Castro. That really took that drive in the third quarter to be able to eat up about, 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes? Yep. To be able to do that, Marco Castro, really leading the charge. But I do want to say,
go ahead.
I'm giving an honorable mention to Diego Arroyo because he had shown, a massive amount of growth in just 1 week. And it looked like he really did some self-reflecting as he was starting to make the correct reads.
Plus, Marco Castro. Homecoming king. That's why you got to give it to him.
The king.
So Marco Castro, the player of the game for the Kankakee Valley Cougars. For the Hanover Central Wildcats, they improved their record to 4-1, 3-0 in the NCC. They played very well. And if you don't say 2 words, and those words are Caden Verrett, I cannot have you come back. Who's our player of the game? Brought to us by PMI NWI.
I appreciate you pronouncing his name first before I went ahead and made a fool of myself because it's been the whole game that I've been saying it wrong. So for Verrett, if you're listening into this or any of his family members, I apologize for mispronouncing the name. But Verrett had one heck of a game, and I would hate to spoil it by mispronouncing it one more time.
So Caden Verrett, thank you very much.
15 rushes, 133 yards, and 4 touchdowns, just to remind you.
Players of the game brought to us by Property Management, Inc., Northwest at PMINWI.com. Their phone number, 219-318-1244. We want to thank the faculty and staff here at Kankakee Valley, including their athletic director, a good friend of mine, Joe Wagner. We also want to thank Kirk Kennedy and Brian Parker from Hanover Central for pregame interview, accessibility, and stats. Next up for Hanover Central, they're going to be back at home against Munster on the 27th. KB is going to be in action, but that game's going to be next Thursday when we travel to Culver Military Academy on Parents Weekend. Pre-game coverage here on Regional Radio Sports with my crew will begin at 5:15 Central. The 4 other football games next Friday night will include Penn at South Bend Adams, South Bend Washington, and Marion. The DAC game of the week, and it's going to be a good one. Crown Point going to Valpo. We might want to take a look at a scoreboard update before we get out of Dodge. And then Hobart ventures to Lowell and the Brickyard with Todd and Tony. Scoreboard update. 21-14. Chesterton with the lead in overtime. Valpo has possession. Be sure to check our website, rrsn.com, for time, scores, and schedules and a listing of our Regional Radio Sports Network affiliates in your area as we continue our positive promotion of student athletes. So for all of us here at Regional Radio Sports Network, our crew here at Friend Jones Field is, of course, our camera person. She did a great job tonight. That's Mara Graff, and, of course, my broadcast partner, he of the Pigskin Project podcast. It's Ryan Matthews. This is Vince Gray reminding you our final score was the Hanover Central Wildcats 34, the Kankakee Valley Cougars 20. God bless America, and God bless you all. So long for tonight from Kankakee Valley High School here in Wheatfield, Indiana.
Ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992. This is the Regional Radio Sports Network at rrsn.com.
Today's broadcast on the IHS